once there was a assembly of great sages and all, and then Markandeya Rishi, he lives for kalpas. Kalpas. Huh? Yeah. But that time, this boy on the lap of Vasishtha Muni, 12-year-old boy that time, like that. Markandeya Muni entered the Sabha, and there were so many great sages and all, they were sitting. Then it is a custom that you have to pay obeisances first to the greatest sage among all of them. And then there are so many sages who are living, who are great and did tapasya for so many thousands of years. But that Markandeya Rishi, he came and offered obeisances to Parashara Muni, the boy, 12-year-old boy, sitting on the lap of Vasishtha Muni. Then all the sages, they were said, what is this? Is Maryada Vyatikrama. Maryada Vyatikrama. Said, no, even though I lived for so many kalpas, this boy, his remembrance of Krishna is more than my remembrance of Krishna in so many kalpas. That is why he is more greater than me. So Jnanavriddha, among Brahmana, there is one, so many things. So there is, among Brahmanas, you have to respect somebody who is more knowledgeable, even though, underage. Among devotees, that is the etiquette. If somebody is known as an advanced devotee, you should offer him more respect, like that. More knowledgeable and all that. So like that, this Parashara Muni, once he was going in the... anyway, the Uparichara Vasu, there is one great king. He has got, he has got one daughter and one son. That son was this, Virat Raj, Matsyadesh king, Then this Satyavati, she is the daughter. And then they were born from a womb of a fish. Then this girl has got the bad smell of fish. Yeah, bad smell of fish. That is why she is known as Matsyagandhi. That boy he kept, Uparichara Maharaj, he kept him with him. Then he but he gave that girl to this Nishadra, means this fisherman. Then she used to run the boat across Yamuna. One day Parashara Muni, he was crossing Yamuna on the boat. Then he saw this girl, and then she is extraordinarily beautiful. Kshatraya Prabhupada says, this Rani, Padmini or somebody, Jaipur ka, Gayatri Devi. All these Kshatriya ladies, they are very beautiful. I know when we are in intermediate, I used to study in Vijayanagaram. That place is known for, Maharajas, kings. That Ashoka Gajapati Raj, airlines, minister. Their fort and all is there. So we used to go, that time in the previous they were to see because they are all beautiful girls, ladies, They would, Kshatranis means all the Jaipur Gharana, all beautiful ladies. So, so Satyavati, most beautiful girl. So Maharaj, this Parashara Muni, of course he is a great sage, and Rasaraj once he explained that when he was traveling in the boat, he saw one great muhurta appeared in the sky. If you combine with a woman, he will produce a great son. That's why he proposed to Satyavati that, I want to combine with you. Satyavati said, how it is possible, everybody is watching. They don't worry. Then he covered with smoke entire area, Yamuna. Then he said, I am getting bad smell from my body. Oh, no problem. You will become Yojana, the fragrance will come from your body. That's why she is known as Yojana Gandhi. Yojana Gandhi means 1 yojana is 8 miles. When she would walk around, her fragrance from her body would spread to 8 miles. Right? Now we have to put scent and all. After half an hour it will go away. Then we will stink. But beautiful women, previously beautiful women means no scent use. Fragrance used to come. Fragrance used to come from their bodies. Like that. So, then no problem. The Matsya Gandhi, you will be known as Yojana Gandhi. Then he said, how we know I am not independent. I am owned by my father. My father owns me. How can I agree? I will lose my virginity. So no problem. Don't worry. You will not lose that also. Then it happened like that. And then it so happened that Vyasadev, he was born. Vyasadev, he was born like that, there in the boat. And he was not like a small boy and all. He was grown up with all jatas and, dadi and all that. Then he offered obeisances to his mother, Satyavati. Said, I am going now. Whenever you want anything from me, you remember my name and I will come. Right? He is incarnation of Vishnu, He is Shaktiavesh avatar of Lord Vishnu. Like that. So, because he was born in a Dvipa island, and he is blackish in color. That's why he is known as Krishna Dvaipayana Muni. Later on, he was known as Veda Vyas because he divided impossible. He accomplished the impossible task of dividing Vedas. Vedas is a vast subject. So he divided, very correctly into 4 Vedas. Previously, there is only one Veda. Then he divided into 4 Vedas. That's why he is known as Vyasa. Vyasadev. Like that. Then later on, Shantanu, he became attracted to Satyavati. And then her father said, because Kundali ke prakar, my daughter's son should become king. So, if you agree to this condition, I will give my daughter to you. Shantanu said, I have already anointed my son Devavrat as the Yuvraj, and then he will become the king. So every day he would come, look at Satyavati and look at her. Then he would sit there and watch Satyavati and then go back. Every day he would do like that, Santanu Maharaj. Then slowly he became Satyavati conscious. Right? Then दिन रात उसको नींद नहीं आती थी, खाना खाया नहीं जाता था. So always chanting Satyavati, Satyavati. So then every day he would go, no king, no ruling, nothing. Every day he would go, sit on the bank of Yamuna, look at Satyavati, keep staring at her, and then come back. So Bhishma came to know, what happened? You are becoming very thin. What is happening? Manovyatha, your mind is very disturbed, stressed out. Then he came to know through his minister that like this happened. And he went to that Matsyaraj, that fisherman. Said, what happened? Why you give? Then okay, I am giving you promise that I will not become king. Your son, your daughter's son only will become king. And that guy is a rascal, He said, okay, you don't want to, you will make him king, but what about your son, Santan? Your Santan will object. Right? Then he took water and then he said, he took a vow, let the sun and moon and all the stars and all be witness, that in my life I will never marry. I will remain, brahmachari. Like that. Then there is a Pushpa Varsha, all the demigods and all, they showered flowers. That is why he became known as Bhishma. Bhishan Pratijna kiya tha, isliye uska naam ho gaya Bhishma. Right? Then he took the Satyavati and got him married. Then what happened? What happened? Then he came to know Bhishma Dev, Devavrat took such a vow. Then father became very pleased, and then he said, okay. Then he gave him the benediction that Ichha Mrityu, like that. Later on, Lord Kapila says that the suffering that you get by associating with women, no other suffering, you will not get any greater suffering than with anything else than the suffering that you get by associating with a woman. So they are very beautiful, but you run after them, you may little enjoy, but later on, so much misery. So that Shantanu Maharaj, he became very grief-stricken that I did injustice to my son Bhishmadev, like that. So like that he died. So Shantanu Maharaj had two sons, Vichitravirya and Chitrangada. And then Chitrangada, very funny, one Gandharva came, said, why are you keeping my name? Then this was it, तुम्हारा बाप का नाम है क्या? Like that, they had some argument. तेरा बाप का है. So come, let us fight and decide. You if you win, you can keep the name, or if I win, I will keep the name. अरे क्या हुआ? Like these Gaudiya Math people, they protest. Prabhupada, why are you keeping Prabhupada name? Even now they criticize. These Gaudiya Math people. That's why they don't call our Prabhupada as Prabhupada. They say Swami Maharaj. Right? Then we gave a retort. Prabhupada, Prabhupada writes Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada, Swarup Damodar Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada is a title, Not that if Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is Prabhupada, then like Padma Shri is given to so many people. Like that, this is a title. Anyway, then they had a fight and Chitrangada died. You all know Vichitravirya. He's a big womanizer. Ambika and Ambalika, he got married. And then they say, in Telugu, Naya Dulha ko raat aur din pata nahi chalta hai. Right? You know the saying? Huh? उसको पता ही नहीं था रात कब है दिन कब है. And their Ambika and Ambalika both are most beautiful women, and he has no other job, all the time spending time with them. Because of too much indulgence, somebody says he got a disease because of spending too much time with his wives. So it is called Kshaya Roga, TB. Somebody says these are all symptoms of AIDS. Like that. Anyway, he died. Vichitravirya died. Then Satyavati came and requested Bhishma, now you have to become king and you have to get married and produce sons. Bhishma there was nothing doing. Then Vyasadeva was invited. Then he produced Dhritarashtra and Pandu and then Vidura. Right? It is called Niyoga. Niyoga means if the king doesn't have a child, he can request a very advanced Brahmana, Rishi, and combine with this wife, and then he will produce a child. And that child will be his child. But it is banned in Kali Yuga because on that day he has to apply oil. That man has to, the Vyasmuni, he applied oil. And then they should not speak. Then they have to do austerity, means that mind has to be completely free from passion. Then he should look ugly, oil and all, Then he should not speak. Then there should not be any light and all. So when in the small lamp, when this lady Ambalika saw, she became very frightened, seeing the Rupa of Vyasadeva. Then she closed her eyes. Then combined. Then Vyasmuni said, child will be born, but he will be Andha. Then next lady went. When she saw this, she started shivering. Then she became pale. This leukoderma, some people they have, they became pale, no? Some people are pale, no? That is called Panduroga. So then that is Pandu Maharaj was born. Like that. Then again Ambalika was sent. Then this time I said, I am not going. Then she sent her maid servant. For them, Vidura was born. So Vidura is none other than Yamadharmaraj, who was cursed by Mandavi Muni. Like that, Bhishma Dev was protecting all these, he was the main protector of Kuru Raja. But Dhritarashtra, once for some time Pandu was ruling, and then after that, when he died, Dhritarashtra was ruling. Then all this fight was, all of you know, Mahabharat war took place because of the fight between Kauravas and Pandavas. Now, Bhishma Dev was lying on the arrow bed of arrows, right? So when he fell on the 10th day, like Bhishma Dev, on the first day, on the Mahabharata, this Bhagavad Gita lecture was over. Lecture was over. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj, war was about to start. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj got down from the chariot and then he started walking towards Kaurava's side. Then everybody was shocked. What is he doing? Then Duryodhana and all, they were saying, already lost. He is coming to surrender. Right? So Bhishma Dev said, be patient, Duryodhana. Just see what is going to do. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj came and offered obeisances. Right? Then Bhishma Dev blessed him, saying that, Vijayi Bhava, become victorious. Right? Then he said, Yudhishthira, if you have not come to take my blessing and take permission from me, I would have cursed you. Then he went to Dronacharya, he went to Krupacharya. Right? Duryodhan became very angry. Pitama, हमारा शत्रु को विजयी बाबा करके आशीर्वाद दे रहे हो. So Bhishma Dev says, what? प्रणाम का परिणाम आशीर्वाद होता है पुत्र. Right? Even you also go and offer obeisance to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He will give you that blessing. But you won't do it. Right? So, but Bhishma Dev became Pradhana Senadipati, but he put one condition. I won't kill any Pandavas. Every day I will kill 10,000 Sainiks, but I won't touch Pandavas. Right? So, on 10th day, then the 9th day, he was fighting like a ferocious war, and then so many people were killed. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj, they had a sabha, and they said in a meeting, then if Bhishma Dev is going to fight like this, war will be finished in another 1 or 2 days. Only 5 of us will be left out. So Krishna Vasudev said, you do one thing, you go and tell Bhishma Dev, अपना आशीर्वाद वापस ले लो. So they all, Yudhishthira Maharaj and all, they went. Then he offered obeisances. So Bhishma Dev asked, why did you come? Then Pitamaha, आप अपना आशीर्वाद वापस ले लो. So Bhishma Dev said, once you give a blessing, you don't take it back. You don't take it back. But if you are fighting like this, how your blessing will become true? That is why Vasudev told us to give it back. Oh, Vasudev told you? Okay, I understand. My time has come. Now, mera samay aa gaya. Then he told all of Amba, like that. So, what happened? Sikandi, yeah. Then, when Arjuna was releasing arrows, and every inch, there were arrows. Then Bhishma Dev was falling down. Then Brahmaji, this whole war, there is being witnessed by all the demigods in the sky. It's a great war, Huh? Yeah. No, it's not real. They're how come means live. They are seeing. They are stationed in Vimanas, and every day they would watch and they will go back live from the stadium. Then all the sages and all they are watching. Then the main attraction is Krishna. I will tell you, I will come. Very nice description of Bhishma Deva's prayers. Very wonderful. You will be enthralled to hear the prayers of Bhishma Deva. Like that. Then Brahmadev and all they said, Pitamaha, Pitamaha, don't leave your body now. Don't leave your body now. This is... then Brahmaji sent some sages, as messengers. Said, please inform, Bhishma Deva not to leave the body. It is because it is Dakshinayana. Because war took place in the month of December. Up to January 14th, it is Dakshinayana. From July onwards, it is Dakshinayana. So you stay, Then Vishnu said, no, I know. I'm aware of that. I'll wait on this, Then he was lying on the bed, very interesting, and then his head was hanging. His head was hanging. Then all Drona, this Duryodhana and all they came, said, I am having difficulty. My head is hanging. Put some, this thing. Then he said, bring some, cushions, pillows. No, pillows से क्या होगा, जो व्यक्ति ये मेरा हाल किया है वही करेगा, उसको ही बुलाओ. So he called Arjuna, just do one thing. Then he, released more arrows. Then he made into like a pillow. Then he said, I am feeling thirsty. Duryodhana said, bring water, bring water. No, you call Arjuna only. Then he released arrow, Then Ganga came. Then it was directly falling in the mouth of Bhishma Dev. They say that Bhishma Dev, he wanted this because, at least now, you understand the power of Arjuna. That's why he did this. With the arrow, you release an arrow and then Ganga comes out. So he wanted to show the power of Arjuna to all these. At least now you go for Sandhi. You cannot win against Arjuna and all, Bhima and all that. So like that he was lying. So all this, Duryodhana, Yudhishthira Maharaj and all, they came and so it is described that it is a great event, Bhishma Dev leaving the body in front of Lord Krishna. In front of Lord Krishna. So all these great sages, you can read on page number 472. All the sages like Parvata Muni, Narada, Dhaumya, Vyasa, Brihadshava, Bharadwaja and Parshurama and disciples, Vasishta, Indrapramada, Trita, Gristamada, Asita, Kakshivan, Gautam, Atri, Kaushika and Sudarshana were present. All these great sages, all the demigods, they came to observe the passing away of Bhishma Dev. Atiti comes, one should give water, speak sweet words and all that. But Bhishma Dev was not in a position to offer any water, but he was in a position to speak very sweet words. So any guest comes, you should not look angrily. aa gaya hai. Headache. Right? Huh? क्या कब जाएगा? रिटर्न टिकट कभी है? Right? आप कुछ दिन आए ना? Then they will ask, रिटर्न टिकट कभी है? नहीं रिटर्न टिकट नहीं लिया है ना. उसका हार्ट विल स्किप, अरे कितने दिन रह जाएगा. My mother's chacha, some distant relative, he is known for, after only one day only you can stay. You know, after that he will take your bag and take you to bus stop. Like that. Strange people, you know, exist in the world. Anyway, so aho kastam, aho anyayam, you know, yadyuyam dharmanandana, jivitam narhatam klishtam, vipra dharma achyutashrayah. Right? Aho kastam means custom. Oh, what great difficulties you have experienced. Aho anyayam, what injustices you have faced in your life. You know, jivitam yadyuyam dharmanandana, you are sakshat son of a dharmaraj, you know, personified dharma. Then you yourself are a personified dharma, but still you have suffered so much. Jivitam narhatam klishtam. You know, actually you are not supposed to live under such circumstances. Anybody in your place, they would have died now. You know, but you had to face so much difficulties. But you are alive, and then you are successful because Vipra Dharma Achyutashrayah. Very important. Please remember this. Because you have taken shelter of these three things. What is that? Vipra. You know, Brahmanas. You know, Vipra, Dharma, you have taken shelter of Dharma. Then Achyuta. Achyuta means Krishna. Because you have taken shelter of these three people, Dharma and Brahmanas and Krishna, that is why you are alive. Right? So, Prabhupada writes, as long as person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and strictly following religious principles, one has no cause for despondency, however trying the circumstances of life. You know, so dharma rakshati rakshati. You know, if you protect dharma, dharma will protect you. Right? So, when they were consigned to the forest, first, actually, if you see, you know, even Ramchandra's case also, or even Yudhishthira Maharaj, Pandava's case also, it is a blessing only for them. Even though from outside it looked very tough, you know, going into the forest for the, like that. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj is a personified dharma. You know, then he would control. Even Draupadi, she was known as one of the Pativratas. But she is not a silent person. Huh? If you read Mahabharata Aranya Parva, she kept on, you know, taunting him and chastising him. Panchali, मैं एग्री कर लिया ना, मैं भूल हो गया, मेरा भूल स्वीकार कर लिया ना, वो छोड़ते नहीं. Huh? So she would not keep quiet. Huh? She kept on chastising him. You are like this, you are like that, Kayar, you know, all that stuff. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, he would not budge. You know. So, unlike kings now, Yudhishthira Maharaj is so famous. When he was consigned to the forest, all the Brahmanas from the town, they vacated and they started going with him. Then they reached Kamyavan. From Hastinapur, you know, Kamyavan, where it is? All of you go? Went? Last time we went, no? Kamyavan? Huh? You don't go? Vrindavan, yeah. They were staying in Rajadam for a long time. Kamyavan, right? That's where Yudhishthira Maharaj. Last time only we went. Last year we went. Yeah, but last year we went. Right? Beautiful place, Kamyavan. All the palace of, all the Kutir and all, you know, everything. All so many pastime places are there. Durvas Muni, you know, visiting that place and all. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he started crying and crying. Then he told all these Brahmanas, you know, later on Draupadi says that, you know, what is the, you know, this fate, you know, what makes people fate, you know, this fate is so powerful. that, once upon a time, the Indraprastha Samrat, you are eating in Sahapankti, 10,000 Brahmanas used to sit in golden plates and eat in golden plates. 10,000 Brahmanas, Sahapankti means, the line. 10,000 Brahmanas used to sit with Yudhishthira Maharaj. Now, you are sitting and, eating Kandamula and all, like that. So anyway, so Yudhishthira Maharaj requested all the Brahmanas, when I was the king, I was, taking care of you all, you come to the forest, how can I take care of you? Where from you I will provide you food and all that. Then that Brahmana said, my dear Yudhishthira Maharaj, you are our God, you are our father, without you we cannot live in the city, so we are coming with you. You don't worry, we will somehow, survive, you don't worry about that. But he said, I am the king, I have to take care of you. There are so many ferocious animals and all, they'll be there. How can I, Then he cried and cried. Then Vyasamuni appeared suddenly. Vyasamuni said, why are you, crying like this? Then Daumya Muni, this Gandharva, if you read Mahabharata, Arjuna became friends with one Gandharva. So that Gandharva instructed that without the blessing of a Brahmana, Paurohit, no king will make progress. Then he told many stories how, so many Mandat Maharaj and all, they became very strong, like that. You keep one Brahmana with you. Then this Daumya Muni, they kept that Brahmana, and then he was a great sage and great Brahmana. Then he was there all the time through the, Vanvas also. Then he is the one who suggested Virat Maharaj assembly, you should stay there. Like that. He's a great Brahmana. And then Vyasamuni gave a mantra of Surya mantra. So you chant this mantra, then because sun god is the source of all foodstuffs. So for 12 days and 12 nights he did upavas, and then he chanted this mantra, of glorifying Surya Bhagwan. And then Surya Bhagwan, he came and gave this benediction. That Draupadi, whatever you would collect, all this Kandamula and all, then she would put this in this Bartan, Patra, then it will become Panchavaksha Paraman, means, very feast, it will become a feast. Till the time she doesn't eat. Once she eats, then for that day, you cannot produce any more food. So like that, then they were, Yudhishthira Maharaj was, serving all the Brahmanas who were accompanying him. And see, these Brahmanas are so great. They didn't want to live in the comforts because they are so attached to this Maharaj Yudhishthira. Maharaj Yudhishthira is so great that, Markandeya Rishi, Brihadashva Rishi, Narada Muni, Vyasa Muni, Krishna, everybody would visit them. And then all this, Markandeya Muni would say that, today my life has become perfect because I came to meet you. Markandeya Rishi. Yeah? Like that. Because he was so great. Yudhishthira Maharaj. It is said that Indra became very famous by performing 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Yeah? So fame, so much fame. But Yudhishthira Maharaj became more famous simply by performing 3 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Why? Because he is the devotee of the Lord. So this so many Pandavas, they face so many tribulations in their life. Once Yudhishthira Maharaj, once Brihadashva Rishi, he came to visit them in Kamyavan. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj broke down. Then he said, is there anybody in this world who suffered more than me? Then what, then he told the story of Ramayana. Oh, then another Rishi came, then again same thing. Is there anybody who suffered like me? Then they narrated the story of, Nala and Damayanti. How Nala Maharaj suffered for 12 years, like that. So, in spite of, then once Draupadi was arguing with, Yudhishthira Maharaj, said, why this God is so merciless? Why is he enjoying, his sons and daughters suffering like this? Then he said, you are always saying, Kshama is Satya. Yudhishthira Maharaj is always saying, Kshama is Satya, Sama is Daya hai. Like that. real religion and all that. But Kshatriyas, you should not take this Kshama and all that. You should show Paurush. Who can defeat Indra, this Indra, Arjuna? Who can defeat Bhima? Let us go and fight. Let us go and fight. Why are you sitting? You are Kair. Like that. Yudhishthira Maharaj says, Panchali, it's not like this. Dharma, we should never, overstep dharma. Like that he would explain to her. Then they have argument. Like that. One day Yudhishthira Maharaj chastised, you are speaking like an atheist. How you are, blaming God? No, I am not atheist. But, I cannot, digest this fact, that my husbands are so great warriors. And then somebody like Dushasana insults me and you don't do anything. So one day Draupadi said, and Bhimsen and all they said, in Viparit Kal, in special circumstances, 13 months becomes 13 years. 13 years. So 1 month is equal to 1 year. So Bhima and all, they dressed themselves as warriors. They gave up all this and said, let us go and fight. Because now 13 months have finished. So it is equivalent to, in Viparit Kala, in special circumstances, it is equivalent to 13 years. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, you want to go and fight and all, enjoy the kingdom. Vanavas mere liye hai na, aapko bola nahi na. Vanavas is not for you. Vanavas is for me. I am the king. So you go and fight and all. But I have given word in front of Bhishma Dev, in front of Dronacharya, in front of Krupacharya, in front of Bade Pitaji. That 13, for me 13 years means 13 years. When Vidura was advising, also Vidura was advising Dhritarashtra that in Vishesh circumstances, 13 months is called, you call them and give them back kingdom. Then he said, then Duryodhana and all, they were very worried. Shakuni said, don't worry, other brothers and Draupadi may agree, but I know about Yudhishthira Maharaj. For him 13 years means 13 years, you don't worry about that. I have full faith in dharmic nature of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So this is called Dharma, Vipra Dharma, Achyuta, Ashraya. They are ardent devotees of the Lord. So that is why they have survived. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that whatever may happen in our lives, if you remain under the shelter of Brahmanas and Dharma and Krishna, right? Then you will be protected. That Samstite Tirthe Pandav Prutha Bala Praja Vaduhu Yusmat Krute Bahun Kleshan Prapta Tokavati Muhu. He says, as far as daughter-in-law Kunti is concerned, upon the great general Pandu's death, she became a widow with many children, and therefore she suffered greatly. And when you were grown up, she suffered a great deal also because of your actions. At a very young age, she became a widow. Then she got these sons, and grown-up son. They have to take care of them, and then in the midst of big enemies like Duryodhana. So later on, also, she had to suffer because of these activities of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Kunti Maharani says to Draupadi that मुझे गर्व था कि मेरा पुत्र इतना महान है, लेकिन आज मैं बहुत शर्मिंदा हूँ कि तुमको दांव पे लगाया. I am very ashamed today that my sons have put you on the bed, like that. So she had suffered very greatly, like that. So Kunti Maharani. But Kunti Maharani, what she said? Huh? Yeah. There is only one devotee, right, in the whole universe. Huh? Anyone of us dare to pray like that? Huh? Did anyone pray like that in your lives? Give me more trouble. Huh? Vipada santuna shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yasyat apunar bhavadarshanam. Please remember this verse. All of you should learn Queen Kunti's prayers, and every day you should offer to Krishna, Radha Rasbihari. Some very wonderful prayers. Anybody knows Queen Kunti's prayers? Wonderful prayers. Prabhupada, wonderful purports. Right. So she is praying, my dear Lord. Prabhupada says Krishna attended to more to Kunti Maharani than his own mother, because his own mother has got, father is alive, her husband is alive. But in the case of Kunti Maharani, her husband is not alive. That is why Krishna paid more attention to Kunti Devi than Devaki and Vasudeva. Prabhupada writes in the purport. So she says, you have only saved us. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat Asasabhayam Vanavasa Krishrataha. Mrude Mrudeneka Maharatastrato Draunastra Chasma Hare Birakshitaha. My dear Lord Krishna, Vishan Mahagne, you have saved us Bhima from poison. Mahagne, Varnavrat, Lakshagrah Dahan. Vishan Mahagne, Purushada Darshanat, you saved us from this Hidimbasura, Bakasura, Purushada Darshanat, Asat Sabhayam, in Asat Sabha you saved, Draupadi, Asat Sabhayam, Vanavasa Krishrataha. So many troubles my sons have undergone in the forest, but because of you, they remained alive. Vanavasa Krishrataha. Mrude Neka, Draunastra, Maharatastrato. You saved, from Maharathas, Astras, Bhishma. If Krishna is not there, even for one day, my son would not have survived. You saved us from. All of you know the story. In the end, how the chariot blew up, right? So Maharatastrato, Draunastra Chasma. Now you protected us from. Now you protected us from this Dronastra, the Brahmastra released by Drona's son. Then he said, please, Vipada Shantuna Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagadguru. My dear Krishna, please give those troubles again and again. Why? Whenever troubles are there, we can see you again and again. We can remember you again and again. Then what is the result of seeing Krishna's lotus feet? Apunar Bhavadarshanam. Bhava means, birth, death, old age and disease. Bhavaroga. So we will not. Janmaishwari Shuta Shribir Yedamana Madah Puman. Right? Those who are influenced by this good birth, Janma, Aishwarya, opulence, then Vidya, then beauty. These four things, we get by good birth, good pious activities in our last life. If somebody is beautiful means they have given up eating meat. Bhishma Dev says. For all great, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked, for all great tapasyas, what is the greatest austerity one can perform? Bhishma Dev said, giving up eating meat is the greatest austerity. Because people are very fond of eating meat. Sums up next. Right? So it is given one of the laws of karma. If you give up eating meat, next life you will be born beautiful. Anyway, Janmaishwari Shuta Shribir Yedamana Madhapuman Naivarhati Avadatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Naivarhatam. Naivarhatam means, Avadatum means, if you are having these four things, Janmaishwarya, Shruta, Shri, you cannot chant feelingly. Somebody is very opulent, well placed, beautiful, they can't chant. So let all the troubles come. Why? If you are in trouble, you can chant your names very feelingly. Why? Tvam akinchana gocharam. You are the property of penniless. Right? You are property of penniless. That is why we always say, Ore Bapre, I was giving in Kerala in one lecture. Then I explained, if Krishna loves you, he will take away everything. If Krishna likes you, he will give you, all the cars and opulent house and all that. So I asked one mother, in the beginning I asked, in the lecture, I think it's there on the YouTube. Then I asked, then she said, at this time, better Krishna likes me. Then I explained, how Krishna is wonderful and beautiful pastimes. You can enter Krishna's pastimes, all that stuff. Then after the lecture is over, at the end again I asked, Mataji, now what is your opinion? Krishna should like me. Oh my God. Right? So Bhishma Dev was remembering, Queen Kunti like that. Right? Then he says, very beautiful verse. Then Sarvam Kalakritam Manye Bhavatam cha yad apriyam Sapalo yad vashe loko Vayuriva ganavalihi. He says, everything Sarvam Kalakritam Manye, according to my opinion, it is all because of the influence of time. Manye means my opinion. Sarvam Kalakritam Manye Bhavatam cha yad apriyam. In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time. Under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind. You hear this carefully. Everything in this world is carried by the wind. And all these planets also are sustained by the wind. But this air is also controlled by the time. Time. So everything in this world is controlled by time. Prabhupada says that time is one of the features of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Supreme Lord of Krishna. So if anything is happening, it is under the influence of time. And the time is under the control of Krishna. So if anything is happening to us, it is actually desire of Krishna. So that's why Bhishma Devi say, don't be disturbed, because Krishna is undefeated, undefeatable. So if you want something that trouble should come to you, who can stop it? You understand? That is why we should not be troubled by this. That is the next verse is saying, Yatra Dharmasuto Raja Gadapanir Vrukodarha Krishna Shri Gandivam Chapam Suhrit Krishnas Tato Vipat. Yatra Dharmasuto Rajan, where Krishna is present, where the personified Dharma is present, Dharmasuto Rajan. Then Gadapanir Vrukodara, where Bhima, Sarvasreshth Gadadhar, Bhima is present. Where Arjuna, Gandivadhari Arjuna is present. And then Suhrit Krishna Tato Vipat, where Krishna is personally present. How can the troubles come? If the troubles come, means Krishna wants those troubles for you. You understand? Prabhupada writes, there is no shortage of material resources. There is no shortage of power, weapons and all. There is no shortage of dharma on the side of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Krishna is personally present. But still they are being troubled. That means, Prabhupada says, Kala is identical with the Lord himself, and therefore the influence of Kala indicates the inexplicable wish of the Lord himself. There is nothing to be lamented when a matter is beyond the control of any human being. You understand? We should not lament, especially devotees. Why? Because our lives are completely controlled by Krishna. And something is happening to us means, Krishna wants that. So one should not think Yudhishthira Maharaj performed some bad karma, that's why he is suffering. Prabhupada writes, because there is no question of Yudhishthira Maharaj performing any sinful activities either in this life or in the previous life, or anything like that. They have not. It's not Yudhishthira Maharaj. They suffered not because of their karma, but it is because of inexplicable wish of the Lord. Why? Because this Kala, we are all under the control of Kala, and then Kala is a feature of Krishna, right? That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, time I am, Mrityuhu sarvaharas chaham, then time I am, the destroyer of the Kala Kritaschat. I am the destroyer of the world. I am the time I am, destroyer of the world. So Krishna, in third canto Bhagavatam also, in 26th chapter, very interesting, Lord Kapila explains the entire, all the elements and how the time influences and how everything was, the entire thing was created by Kala. This Kala, in the beginning, it is Pradhana. Pradhana means undivided material nature. It's not divided. And then it is divided into three modes of nature. That is called Prakriti. Right? That is done by Kala. Kala. So that Kala is feature of the Lord. Like that. So Krishna was present and Bhima was, he is known as Sarvashreshth Gadadhar, and Arjuna is known as Sarvashreshth Dhanurdhar. And then personified Dharma is present. Krishna is taking care of them. Still they are having trouble. That means Kala is there. Kala's influence. Then he says, Nahi asya karhichid rajan puman veda viditsitam yad vijinasyasyas yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So you are giving dakshina. Lonavala is up. The bewilderment of Maharaj Yudhishthira over his past sinful acts and the resultant sufferings, etc., is completely negated by the great authority Bhishma. Bhishma wanted to impress upon Maharaj Yudhishthira that since time immemorial, no one, including such demigods as Shiva and Brahma, could ascertain the real plan of the Lord. So what can we understand about it? It is useless to inquire about it. Even the exhaustive philosophical inquiries of sages cannot ascertain the plan of the Lord. The best policy is simply to abide by the orders of the Lord without argument. The suffering of the Pandavas were never due to their past deeds. So this is very important, this sentence. What is that sentence? No. The best policy is simply to abide by the Lord, by the orders of the Lord without argument. What is that? Without argument. Why Krishna has done this? I am chanting for so many years. I attend Mangalarti every day. What is this Krishna? Taken away my post. What is the use? So many years. Chanting and all. It's all useless. Okay, what to do? If Krishna says, Rake Krishna mare Krishna rake ke. So then you accept finally. And then but what Krishna Prabhupada is writing? Just accept without any argument. The best policy. The suffering of the Pandavas were never due to their past deeds. The Lord had to execute the plan of establishing the kingdom of virtue, and therefore his own devotees suffered temporarily in order to establish the conquest of virtue. Bhishma Deva was certainly satisfied by seeing the triumph of virtue, and he was glad to see King Yudhishthira on the throne. Although he himself fought against him, Even a great fighter like Bhishma could not win the battle of Kurukshetra because the Lord wanted to show the wise cannot conquer virtue regardless of who tries to execute it. Bhishma Deva was a great devotee of the Lord, but he chose not to fight against the Pandavas by the will of the Lord because the Lord wanted to show that a fighter like Bhishma cannot win on the wrong side. So many people they ask, how come Bhishma Deva was silent when Draupadi was being disrobed? Right? Many people they ask, and they are not satisfied. But only devotees can understand. If Bhishma Deva would get up and stop that, it's all Krishna's plan. When Rajasuya, after Rajasuya sacrifice is finished, Duryodhana and all they stayed back. Yeah, they stayed back, and then Duryodhana is this Maisabha. He is getting bewildered. Where you see water, it is plain. Where you see plain surface, there is water. And Duryodhana was falling down, and then there Draupadi and all they were there. All these Ranis and all. Draupadi laughed loudly. Bola, I said it's not there in Bhagavatam, but Anda ka putra andra hai करके, right? ऐसा बोलता है वो. So वो लग गया उसको दुर्योधन को. So Yudhishthira Maharaj felt very bad. In Krishna book you can read. Yudhishthira Maharaj felt very bad, and then he wanted to chastise Draupadi. Krishna stopped him. Hare, let them enjoy. Let them enjoy. So Krishna's plan, is that unless Duryodhana got insulted, why he wouldn't do all these things, no? He was greatly insulted by it is described, I don't know, I can tell this. Draupadi, when she was born, she was so beautiful that she was given certificate that she is the most beautiful woman in the world at that present time. She was so beautiful. So it is described in Mahabharata that girls who are serving, the maid servants, they are serving, they are giving bathing and all to Draupadi. They would become so attracted to the beauty of Draupadi. They would pray that, that time all this nonsense was not there. So they were praying that I wish I become a man so that I can enjoy this beauty. Like that they used to think. The girls, even the girls would become attracted to her beauty. So it is described in Sabha Parva that when all the Pandavas they entered Draupadi's Swayamvar, because the entire Swayamvar was arranged to attract Arjuna, because he said only Arjuna can do this. So when Pandavas entered, all the 5 Pandavas they became stricken by lusty desires, Manmadha. And she was so beautiful that that I don't know why we don't see all those beautiful women now. That's why it seems once when Damayanti was born, when Narad Muni entered Devendra Sabha, Devendra asked, so many kings and all, they used to come after getting defeated and dying on the battlefield in Swargaloka, but now nobody comes nowadays. Narad Muni said, there is one girl, Damayanti was born, Vidarbha Rajkumari. She was so beautiful. All the kings, all the Rajkumaras, they forgotten about the fighting and expanding. They were only thinking about Damayanti and how to get her. That is why there is no, she was so beautiful, it seems. Even the demigods wanted to marry her. Like that. Anyway, Draupadi, so when Karna saw Draupadi, Duryodhana saw Draupadi, they all became stricken by Kama, Manmatha. Like that. So it is described, that Draupadi was at, all the 5 Pandavas became attracted to Draupadi, and everybody was thinking, I wish, she is my wife. Like that. Then when it was suggested that, Kunti Maharani said, Bhiksha, aapas mein saman baat do. Then she saw, Bhiksha is, Draupadi. Then aisa ho gaya, then all of you have to, share her. Then all the 5 Pandavas इवन दो ऊपर से बोल रहा था कि अरे अर्जुना का प्रॉपर्टी है, अर्जुना ने जीता है, बट इनसाइड देयर हार्ट when Kunti was said that they are very happy. I wish it it comes true. Then that's why they did not protest when Kunti Maharani said all of you marry like that. So so Bhishma Dev also was there. So Krishna arranged. So Duryodhan was always lusting after Draupadi. Karna was lusting after Draupadi. They were like that. So when such a beautiful woman insulted, Duryodhan, he became very sad. He was unable to tolerate. Then Krishna stopped, Yudhishthira Maharaj from chastising. Let them enjoy. Like that. And then also Bhishma Dev, what happened? Bhishma Dev, he kept quiet. So Draupadi asked, Pitamaha, why are you keeping quiet? He asked very pertinent question. पत्नी पति का संपत्ति है क्या? पत्नी पति का संपत्ति है तो पति हारने के बाद मैं उनके साथ ही हार गई है, फिर वापस मुझे अलग से कैसे दांव पे लगाएगा? Then she asked one question. That's why. First he lost himself and then he lost me. Or he lost me and then he lost himself. I want answer for this question. Nobody answered, nobody spoke. So many people, they accused Bhishma Dev that why did he keep quiet? Because he kept quiet, because it is there. Oh, no one can know the plan of the Lord. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So Bhishma Dev, because he was a Mahajana, because he is a Mahajana, he could understand the mind of Krishna. That Krishna wanted this to happen, disrobing of Draupadi. And then Krishna wanted, that this war to take place. So that is why we don't understand the plan of the Lord. Like that. Tasmadidam daivatantram vyavasya bharatarshava tasyano vihito natha pahi praja prabhu. O best among the descendants of Bharata, I maintain therefore that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. He says that so this is all plan of the Lord. Everything, whatever happened. So Krishna wanted that all these kings should die. Krishna wanted that all these kings should die. So now you don't bother, you rule the kingdom, because Krishna wanted to establish, kingdom of virtue. So you better cooperate with the Lord and then don't lament. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was refusing to be the king, become the king, because he is thinking that I am responsible for the killing of all these countless soldiers. So just for my sake, so many were killed. But he said, no, this is not your thing. It is the plan of the Lord. So you accept it and then you continue. Then is very important verse. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohan Maya Lokam Gudas Charati Vishnushu. You think that Krishna is none other than inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayana, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vrishni, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy. Then he says, don't think that, because, O king, that personality whom out of ignorance only you thought of to be your maternal cousin, your very dear friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc., is that very personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. You are thinking he is your friend and all, but actually Gudas Charati Vishnushu, he is very secretly moving around amongst all of us, but actually he is the original Narayana. Very beautiful purport Prabhupada wrote. Prabhupada says, for ordinary man, you have to accept the authority, whether it is a scientist or Vedic sages. He said, ordinary people, the scientists, they say they have gone to the moon. How do we know that they have gone to the moon? But we accept it because the scientists have said. So you have to accept an authority. But they think that if you have to accept the authority of Vedas, they say we are very dogmatic. Very dogmatic. But actually, for an ordinary man, you have to accept some authority. So you have to choose which authority you have to follow. You want to follow the authority of Vedas, or you want to follow authority of scientists, right? How many of you believe that electrons, protons, neutrons exist? Huh? How many of you believe? Have you seen them? Has anybody seen electron, proton? Anil, you accept? Viresh, you studied engineering, right? Huh? You accept electron, proton, neutron? Huh? Have you seen them? Have you seen? Right? We have have you seen molecules? Have you seen atoms? But we just accept because scientists have become authorities, right? Just like that. In the same way, very beautiful. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. The Vedic knowledge is received perfectly by disciplic succession from authorities. Such knowledge is never dogmatic. Is as ill-conceived by less intelligent persons. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. She is the authority for such confidential knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In Bhagavad Gita, that this truth is confirmed in the 4th chapter, and the perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only the false arguer speaks against it. For example, modern spacecraft fly in the sky. When the scientists say that they have traveled to the other side of the moon, men believe these stories blindly because they have accepted the modern scientists as authorities. The authorities speak, people in general believe them. Very beautiful, right? But in the case of Vedic truths, they have been taught not to believe. Even if they accept them, they give a different interpretation. Each and every man wants a direct personation in Vedic knowledge, but foolishly they deny it. This means that misguided man can believe one authority, the scientist, but will reject the authority of the Vedas. The result is that people have degenerated. What beautiful purport, huh? So you have to choose which authority. These debauchees, scientists, cheaters. If you ask, verse number 18, first paragraph purport. So much cheating goes on in science. You know that? So much cheating, plagiarism. And one Japanese Nobel laureate, she committed suicide recently, because she claimed wrong results. Some experiment she did and she got a Nobel Prize. Now, even most of except for that Neil Armstrong, all those guys who claimed that they have gone to the moon, they committed suicide. You know that? Yeah. Why? Because they can't bear this. Because these Americans, some truth is there in them. Like they never bothered. Bill Clinton had illicit sex. They were only disturbed that he told a lie. Americans don't like, so they confess. So these scientists, one fellow wrote the book. He said, all these guys, they committed suicide because they were unable to bear that such a gigantic lie, such a big lie, that they have gone to the moon, like that. So much cheating goes on in science. Research and all, and then most of the research goes into, so many of the scientists, they fudge the results to get the funds, and in 1920s somebody claimed regarding some skeleton found, and then to prove the Darwin's theory. So later on he agreed that actually he did purposefully this carbon dating. He applied some. There is one. Many people, they sell. In Bangladesh and all, they sell deities, saying that antique. They are antiques, but they what they do. They put some. They made black and like that. So like that he did something like that. I forgot the name of that experiment. So then later on he confessed that, actually I actually these skeletons, were of recent origin only, but I did some trick and then made it like, it is so many thousands years back. Yesterday, 2 days before, I was meditating on Darwin's theory. I got one realization. Other day, a Bhagavatam class, I told one realization. Why would monkey become a man? Right? Many times I explained, right? Why a monkey like to become a man? Monkey is enjoying more because nowadays men, this world is called Maitunakara. Everybody was after sex. But for that, for human species, you have to struggle so hard to get a woman. Right? So many things he has to do. But monkeys, they just get like that. 1 dozen girlfriends without much effort. Right? Then I asked this question, in some class. Why would a monkey evolve into a man? One more question I had. I was thinking, what is evolving? They don't agree soul, right? They don't agree soul exists. So what is evolving? Body? Huh? Body is lying, no? So you are finding so many skeletons. Huh? So what is evolving? Body became man. Monkey's body became man. I want to ask some of these guys, what is evolving? What do you mean? What is evolving? They don't believe in intelligence. I asked Rasraj the other day, what do the scientists say about mind intelligence? And they said they don't believe in mind intelligence. They think that it is brain only intelligence and mind and all. Right? So what is evolving? We have to ask these guys. Body is evolving. If they say consciousness is evolving, yeah, we are correct. That's what we are saying. Consciousness only is evolving, no? Yeah, but how the body can evolve?
That's what Prabhupada also said in another big conversation. What Darwin is saying is partially correct, that there is different species are there. But the way he's saying is incorrect.
Yeah. Anyway, so we accept, this even Big Bang Theory also. We accept the authority. Very funny.
From nothing came everything.
Yeah. From order, disorder comes. From disorder, how the order can come? Right? You understand? If there is a bomb dropped, there is order. Trains are running, airplanes are flying, roads are clear, everything. So you drop a bomb. Then airplanes will not stop, will stop running, because there is a bomb. And the trains will stop running. And there will be chaos. People are stuck in the airports and railway stations. There is order in the beginning, before. And then you drop a bomb, there is a disorder. So from disorder, how the order will come? Right? From order, disorder will come. If you drop a bomb, you like that. So if there is the explosion in the beginning, how this world has come about? They cannot prove. But because they are saying this, and we are, people are accepting. But Prabhupada says we should accept the Vedic authority. You have to choose which authority you want to accept. Vedic authority or scientists. So at that time, the verse I have quoted in the beginning, Ato Mahabhaga, Bhava Namogadruk, Shuchishrava, Satyarato, Drutavrata. You remember that verse. So Vyasadeva is Shuchishrava, spotless character, Satyavrata, truthful, and Drutavrata, strictly following all rules and regulations. And the scientists, debauchees, drunkards, meat eaters, and women hunters, gamblers. So you decide. So if you accept the scientists, proper, right, what happened? You will become degenerated. So Bhishmadev is an authority, and he is saying that Krishna is Adi Narayana, not our Adi Narayana. He's Adi Narayana Das. Anyway. There are some instructions given by Bhishma Dev. I will skip it, but if time is there, we will explain. I'll explain few prayers by Bhishma Dev. Right? Huh? ठीक है बाद में देखेंगे. So I was thinking, you asked some of these guys, what is evolving? Body is evolving or what? How can the body evolve? Because we are burning the body, right? We are, suppose even this monkey is becoming a man. Monkey dies and the only skeleton is remaining. So how the skeleton will evolve into a human being? Huh? But everything is finished, no? When a monkey dies, all the flesh is gone, blood is gone, everything is gone. Yeah, but how that monkey is becoming a man?
It was supposed to be a useful organ in the body when we were eating. This is what their explanation they are giving. It was a useful organ when we were digesting all the cellulose, when we were eating raw vegetables and leaves and all that. But slowly when man started getting into cooked food, that became a vestigial organ because it was not being used. And finally today it is...
No. First original question I am asking. How the monkey became a man?
See, if we go back to the same route, this is what they are giving. This is the explanation they give in the textbook. It's not mine.
Anyway, my new realization, we have to... I was thinking, then I got this, what is evolving? If they say that body is evolving, but body is lying, skeleton and all, and the brain and all, it got, diluted, mixes. So only skeleton is... So how that skeleton became a man?
They don't look into the subtle matter.
How that skeleton became a man? That is my question. Huh? Huh?
Same example they showed for the giraffe and all like because of the nature, there's slowly there's a change. I'm not supporting one case but when the next generation is come, there's little change. So that baby's next generation is come, there's still little change. So
of the environment.
It's
Mutation.
for the so
That
small
affect the
changes
road
are
like
going on.
Like in Dwapar Yuga, the height was very but no more than in the Kali Yuga. And because people, they say in the cave age, the people used to travel lot of on the foot. Now they are traveling in car. They don't require that foot, so their bodies are shrinking. That's what they argue like that.
But how do they know that car will come?
Like the change is passed on from generation to generation. So like it is not whatever baby is carrying on the change.
In the gene pool.
It's an ongoing fight. They will not understand us. They will have their own. They are very convinced by their own. Very convinced.
Prabhupada said, I will kick Darwin in his face.
Prabhupada is saying here, Darwin has tried to study the changes of the gross body. But because he had no knowledge of either the subtle body or the soul body, he could not clearly explain how the evolutionary process is going.
Anyway, please, very wonderful prayers. Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Matirupakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni Swasukhamupagate Kvachit Vihartam Prakritimupeyishi Yadbhava Pravaha. Bhishmadev said, let me now invest in my thinking, feeling and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Shri Krishna, he is always self-satisfied, but sometimes being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending on the material world, although from him only the material world is created. Itimati Rupakalpita Vitrushna. Vitrushna means to become free from all material desires. Now Bhishmadev, he was involved for so many years. We don't know how many years he lived. For so many years he lived. Ichamutyu, more than 100, 200, 300 years. All this while he took a vow that to protect the Kuru dynasty, Kuru kingdom. So he was very busy with all this politics and all. Now Lord Krishna came. Let me invest all my thinking, feeling and willing in this Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, who is standing in front of me, who is the Lord of Master of the devotees. Satvatam Pati. Satvatam Pati. Means leader of devotees. Prabhupada wrote in the purport, unless one becomes completely free from material desires, Krishna refuses to become the leader of the devotee. Understand? Very nice purport. Unless one is purified from all sorts of material desires, the Lord does not become one's leader. पढ़ रहा है लगता है कोई? हाँ? Underline किया? हाँ? हाँ?
उधर से आया ऐसा बोलता है आपका मुझको नहीं लिया
Desires cannot be wiped out, but they have only to be purified. Right? Satvatam Pati. In first kind of Bhagavatam, that second chapter also, Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Patihi. Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Pujyascha Puja Smarana Smrutascha Pujyascha Nityada. It is said that Tasmad ekena manasa, with single-mindedness, Tasmad ekena manasa, Bhagavan Satvatam Pati, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is known as very lovingly Satvatam Pati, leader of the devotees. Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Pujyascha Dhyayascha Pujyascha Nityada. It is said that you should do these four things about Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. What are they? Shrotavya. One should hear about Krishna, Shrotavya. Kirtitavyascha. One must glorify Krishna. And then Dhyaya means one should remember Krishna. And then Pujyascha Nityada. Nityada means all the time. One must worship Krishna. This is a very nice verse. Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Pati. So this Satvatam Pati is leader of the devotees. So which devotee? One who is completely free from all material desires. Like that. Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravar Ambaram Dadane Vapuralka Kulavratanam Abjam Vijaya Sakhe Ratirastu Me Anvadaya. So here Bhishmadev now will be addressing Krishna as Vijaya Sakha, Parth Sarthi, Krishna Sakha, like that. So one of the features of Krishna is, Prabhupada said, Krishna will be more pleased if you read about Pandavas than Krishna himself. Then Krishna, he is more pleased if you address him with like Nandanandan, Devaki Nandan, Yashodanandan, Parth Sarthi, Vijay Sakha, than Krishna with another names. Because Krishna loves his devotees and he wants to be addressed along with his devotees. That is why here Bhishmadev is praising Krishna as Vijay Sakha. Vijay Sakha means friend of Vijaya. Vijaya means unconquerable. So one of the names, I think 10 names of Arjuna, one of the names is Vijaya. So Vijaya means he is unconquerable. He is never defeated. So why Arjuna is not never defeated? Because he is friend of Krishna. Right? So Krishna promised to Kunti Devi, Bhuva, I will bring back your 5 sons, don't worry. When Krishna came as a Shanti Dut, Kunti, she didn't meet Pandavas after they came back from Vanvas and Ajnatavas. So Krishna went to meet Kunti Devi, where she was staying in Vidra's house. Right? Then Kunti starts crying. That Krishna told Bhuva, abhi ro lena, तुम्हारा आँख ये आंसू का रिक्त कर देना, अभी तुम आंसुओं का समुद्र में प्रवेश करने वाले हैं हम सब. Krishna, what did you say? Then Krishna said, you don't worry, your sons will be alive. Your 5 sons will be alive. Then Kunti says, 5 sons? Right? Like that. 5 sons, yeah, 5 sons. Like that. So Vijay Sakha, so he promised, to drop Kunti Devi that, yeah. So then he also took a vow that, Arjuna will never be defeated. That's why he is known as Vijaya. Only once, it is said that in Mahabharata, and in Bhagavatam also Prabhupada writes, that only once he had to sweat, Arjuna. On the 17th day, war was going on between Arjuna and Karna. So when Arjuna, there are so many, Mahabharata is like, Samundar, so many stories and sub-stories. And when Arjuna was doing Kandav Dahan, that time, Agni was cursed and then he was having indigestion. Then Brahmadev said, you burn Kandav 1, there are so many herbs, you will become alright. And there Takshaka was staying there, and he is the friend of Indra. Whenever, Agni Dev would go and put fire to the Kandav 1, Indra would put water. Like what to do? Then he said, now Narayan, they appeared, you go and seek their help. You wait. Then Brahmaji said, wait for Dwapar Yuga, Narayan will come, then you seek their help. Then that time when Agni Dev approached Arjuna and Krishna, Krishna told Arjuna this, you give one chariot, Divyarath, and then then one Akshay Tunira, like that. So then he only gave Gandiv Dhanush and Akshay Tunira means you take out one arrow, then again it gets filled up, Tunira. Then there is no need to store and all, You keep 5 arrows in the Akshay Tunira, then when Arjuna uses them, वापस आ जाएंगे. Like that. They get filled up, automatic, like that. Then Arjuna is so great. Then when Indra was putting rain, huge rain, like he built with arrows, pandal laga diya with arrows. Right? We spend almost 30 lakh rupees for Janmashtami pandal. Pura pandal laga diya, Kandav 1 mein. So many snakes and all, they got killed, So one of the snake, he escaped. Then he took a revenge. Krishna towards Arjuna. He wanted to take revenge against Arjuna. So he went and became an arrow. And then he took shelter of Karna. Karna. And that day, Karna was in his elements. In elements like that. And then he was fighting ferociously, and then Arjuna's, became very tired. Then he started sweating. Then he remembered, that I have to use, this Sarpa Astra. Like that. Then he took out the Sarpa Astra. And then it is Amogha like, it has no reply, Then Arjuna became, Karna, broke the, bow and bow of, Gandiva one, Dhanush. And then Arjuna was, standing, like that with empty hands. Then he released the arrow, that Nagastra. That Nagastra was going, and then Krishna saw. He said, "What to do now?" Then immediately he pushed the chariot in 1 foot below the earth, or whatever, 12 inches. Yeah, this is how many inches? Our head, 12 inches, whatever, 6, 7. Huh? That much he pushed it inside the earth. Then when Arjuna, he was so great that Swasharira, with this body he went to Swargaloka. When some sage went to Swargaloka, he saw Arjuna occupying half of the Indrasan. He was so affectionate towards Arjuna that he allowed Arjuna to sit, along with him. Ardhasan he gave him. Like that he was. Then he gave him, that's why another name of Arjuna is Kiriti. He gave diamond-studded crown to Arjuna. Indra gifted. That's why it's known as Kiriti. And then everything would shine, like that. Then when Karna released this Nagastra, then when Krishna, pushed it in the chariot, it went and hit the crown of Arjuna, and then it became, into thousands of pieces. Like that. Then again, then Nagastra said, "You release me again." Karna said, "I am not a Khair, to reuse the same weapon." So finished, like that. Then almost towards the evening, and then Arjuna was not able to fight that day with Karna. Again, there was a ferocious battle. Then all of them, they are watching, all the demigods and all. And suddenly Arjuna, became, Nihastra. He became free from, he broke again Gandiv Dhanush and all the chariot and all that. Then he, released, he was about to release the arrow. Then Arjuna he was not having any weapons. And then he was just standing there. And then Krishna was standing there. He was also bewildered what to do. If the arrow reaches, Arjuna's head would have been cut off. What Krishna did, he just did like this. And then Suryasta ho gaya. So Arjuna, he almost, Anusandhan, he almost, ready to release the arrow. Then Karna said, "Today sun god has saved you. Come, tomorrow we'll see." So Arjuna was very disturbed that day. He said, Arjuna said, "Now don't insult me, release the arrow." Release the arrow. Karna said, "No, sun god has saved you." But actually, Krishna blackout. Like that. So that Vijay Sakha, that's why Krishna is made Arjuna unconquerable, because he is a friend of Krishna. So this battlefield, Bhishma Dev, he is remembering. Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravara Ambara Dadhane. So he's saying Tribhuvana Kamanam. That form of Krishna, Tribhuvana Kamanam, it is pleasing to all the three worlds. All the three worlds. Then Tamalavarnam is blackish in color. Tribhuvana Kamanam, Tamalavarnam. Ravikara Gauravara Ambara Dadhane. Krishna was always wear, yellowish pitambar. Pitambar. Then when during the battlefield, on the Kurushetra, the sun rays will fall on the yellowish colored dhoti, and then they would reflect. They would reflect. And Prabhupada says it would create a great hue. Beautiful color, that sun rays falling on the dhoti of Krishna and then reflecting. So Prabhupada says, Bhishma Dev, he is remembering this scene. of battlefield. That Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravara Ambara Dadane Vapuralka Kala Vratanam Abjam. So if you go to Mayapur and Vrindavan, you will see, they do a lot of paintings, right, with Chandan and all. So this painting was done by all the Gopkumaras and sometimes Gopis and all. So Krishna would look beautiful. They would use the Vrindavan minerals and all. They would beautiful, pictures they make. So with Chandan, so Krishna would decorate himself. Somebody would decorate even Dwarka also. It is said that when Krishna at that time 100 years old and he is having so many grandsons and all, but he was look like a 16-year-old boy. Then every day he would go to battlefield just like he would go to some marriage party reception. Decorate himself very nicely, with flowing blackish hair and a beautiful crown, then very beautiful yellowish dress, and the dress and the sun rays are falling on the dress and it's creating a beautiful hue. And then the Bhishma Dev is remembering this prayer, this scene. Prabhupada writes in another purport that in the case of Parthasarathi pastime, Bhishma Dev is more fortunate than Arjuna. Because Arjuna was standing behind Krishna and Bhishma Dev was watching Krishna. It's a beautiful feature of this Parthasarathi. So Bhishma Dev was remembering that I want to see that form. Vijay Sakhe Ratirastume Anvadhaya. Without any deviation, let my mind be concentrated upon this beautiful feature of Parthasarathi, Vijay Sakha, where sun rays are falling on the dhoti and creating a hue and a beautiful face. And what kind of beauty? Tribhuvana Kamanam. It is pleasing to all the three planetary systems. Tribhuvana Kamanam. When Krishna appeared in Rajasuya sacrifice, everybody thought, because the kings from all over the earth planet they came, from all these Savira Desha, Greece, America, everywhere they came. They never seen Krishna, and they didn't know also because they are outside Vedic society, Yayatis, descendants. So when they saw Krishna, they thought that everybody thought Brahmaji used all his creative abilities to make this body. It was so beautiful, Krishna. That is why Bhishma Dev is saying Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamal Varnam Ravikara Gauravara Ambara Dadane. So actually how Arjuna won. Arjuna won. Because they would all come to fight with Arjuna and they will become mesmerized by Krishna's beauty and they would forget to release their arrows. And Arjuna would release the arrows. That arrows are released by a pure devotee of Krishna. Pure devotee of Krishna. When they pierce the hearts of the opponents, they become purified. And they are looking at the lotus face of Krishna and they are leaving the body. And, Vaikuntha Airways, they are coming and taking them up and going. This is, very beautiful, Prabhupada writes in the purport that actually we think that, Krishna is only merciful on Pandavas, but he is merciful on all the Sainiks. Because once when Prabhupada went to Chandigarh, one retired army officer said, in my last life I fought in the battlefield of Kurushetra. Prabhupada said it is not possible. Why? Because all the Sainiks who died on the battlefield of Kurushetra, they went back home, back to Garden. So because they were seeing the beautiful face of, so Prabhupada said, what is the loss if they are dying? If they have died otherwise, they would not have gone back. At the most they could have gone to Swargaloka, which is nonsense, right? But now they got the opportunity to die in front of Krishna. And then all the soldiers who died on the battlefield, they went back home, back to Godhead, right? So very beautiful verse. Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravara Ambara Dadane Vapuralka Kala Vratanam Abjam Vijay Sakhe Ratirastume Anvadaya. Let my mind be focused on this beautiful scene, of Krishna riding driving the chariot, and then sun rays falling on the dress of Krishna and creating a beautiful Indradhanush hue, golden color, and then Krishna's beautiful face, decorated with chandan. So many drawings on his lotus face, right? So people would forget, all these mantras and all when they would come in front of Arjuna, right? Because who can, turn the eyes from such a beautiful person, right? We are all attracted to beauty. Yudituragarajo vidumra vishwak kachalulita shamavari alankritasye mama nishita sharer vibidhyamana tvachivilasat kavachestu Krishna Atma. In the battlefield, when Krishna was driving the chariot, when the horses they run, they would raise the dust. They would raise the dust. So that dust would fall on the beautiful blackish hair of Krishna, and then Krishna has very long hairs, and then flowing blackish hair, without applying any dye and all. Right? Right? So then curly hair, like Keshava. Then this dust will fall on the lotus face of Krishna, and hair, beautiful, hair of Krishna, and then it becomes like a decoration, makeup. Yudituraga Rajo, Raja means dust. Turaga means horses. Yudituraga Rajo Vidumra Vishwak. Kvachalulita Shamavari Alankritasye. Then, because of driving the chariot of Arjuna, he was doing some hard work. Shamavari, because of hard work that he was doing, Alankritasye, that beds of sweat, they would form on the lotus face of Krishna and the body, and they become like a decoration. Right? Like that. Then Mamanishita Sharer Vibidhyamana. Tvachivilasat Kavachestu Krishna Atma. And because all this then Krishna Arjuna Nishita Sharer means sharp arrows. When I am releasing the sharp arrows on Arjuna, some would fall on Krishna also. Vibidhyamana, they are piercing Krishna's body and blood is coming. But they became all these blood marks on Krishna's body, the dust, of cows, these horses on the blackish hair of Krishna, and then these sweat marks, sweat beads on the body of Krishna. They all became decorative pieces, and then Krishna is looking more beautiful. Vibidhyamana, they are piercing the body. So Prabhupada writes very elaborately in the purport that we know that Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha. Soul cannot be cut or dried or this thing, burnt and all. So how come Krishna's body is pierced? Because Krishna, in our case, there is a difference between Krishna and his body. But in Krishna's case, there is no difference between Krishna's soul and body. It's all spiritual. How is it that blood marks are coming and his Nishita Sharer, how they are piercing the body of Krishna and blood is coming, right? Prabhupada says it is transcendental. Devotees only can understand. These karmis they cannot understand. Because why the blood is coming? Because Krishna is exhibiting this pastime because he wanted to please his pure devotee Bhishma Dev. That Bhishma Dev should get satisfaction. That I was hurting Krishna. And then this is called Veera Rasa. He is exchanging this mellow. There are 5 main mellows. Shantaras, Dasiras, Vasyalaras and all that stuff. And then there are some 7 sub mellows. That one of them is Virya Ras. He is exchanging. Bhishma Dev is a devotee in Virya Ras. So in Virya Ras there should be blood, there should be injuries, right? So, but Krishna is enjoying all these sharp arrows that blows dealt by these sharp arrows and blood coming out, he is being enjoyed by Krishna. How? Prabhupada quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that when a lover, a beautiful girl, sometimes she bites the lover during that act, and then she makes injuries with her sharp nails. Sometimes there are marks of nail marks, cheer or bites, but actually those bite marks and nail marks, they are enjoyed by the lover. The man doesn't think अरे मेरे को काट लिया or चीर लिया. Like, so they are enjoyed, like that. Fiance, bite marks are enjoyed by the lover. In the same way, Krishna is enjoying the sharp arrows released by Bhishmadev, because that is the relation between Bhishma and Krishna. Very beautiful verse. Like that. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a great acharya and devotee in the humor of conjugal love with the Lord, remarks very saliently in this regard. He says that wounds created on the body of the Lord by the sharpened arrows of Bhishmadev were as pleasing to the Lord as the biting of fiancé who bites the Lord's body directed by a strong sense of sex desire. Such biting by the opposite sex is never taken as a sign of enmity, even if there is a wound on the body. Therefore, the fighting is an exchange of transcendental pleasure between the Lord and his pure devotee. Shri Bhishmadev was not at all mundane. Besides that, since the Lord's body and the Lord are identical, there was no possibility of wounds in the absolute body. The apparent wounds caused by the sharpened arrows are misleading to the common man. But one who has a little absolute knowledge can understand the transcendental exchange in the chivalrous relation. This is chivalrous relation. The Lord was perfectly happy with the wounds caused by the sharpened arrows of Bhishmadev. The word Vibhudyamana is significant because the Lord's skin is not different from the Lord. Because our skin is different from our soul, in our case the word Vibhudyamana or being bruised and cut would have been opposites, quite suitable. Transcendental bliss is of different varieties, and the variety of activities in the mundane world is but a perverted reflection of transcendental bliss. Because everything in the mundane world is qualitatively mundane, it is full of inabilities, whereas in the absolute realm, because everything is of the same absolute nature, there are varieties of enjoyment without inability. The Lord enjoyed the wounds created by his great devotee, Bhishmadev, and because Bhishmadev is a devotee in the chivalrous relation, he fixes up his mind on Krishna in that wounded condition. Shapadi sakivacho nishamya madhye nijaparayor balayor ratam niveshya sthitavati parasainika ayurakshna ritavati partha sakhe ratirmamastu. Krishna in first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna ordered, what is that famous verse, Senayor Buyor Madhye Ratam Stapayame Achyuta. Right? Shapadi Saki Vacha. Shapadi means battlefield. Shaki Vacha means by the order of his friend. Saki Vacha. Shapadi Saki Vacha Nishamya Madhye. He stationed the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. And he was saying, because Arjuna said, I want to know whom all you are fighting against me. Then he said, this is Bhishma, this is Drona, this is Duryodhan, this is Karna. You have to fight against all those things. Right? Shapati Saki Vacho Nishamya Madhye. Nijaparayor Balayor Ratham Niveshya. Arjuna wanted to know the real strength of their army and opposite army. Right? So that is why he ordered Krishna, Achyuta, really, take the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. Then he said, that time, what he did? Sthitavati parasainikayar akshna. Akshna means eyes. Right? Sthitavati, by keeping the chariot on the battlefield and by showing Bhishmadev, Drona, this, that, by akshana, by looking at him, Hritavati, he reduced the lifespan. Hritavati partha sake ratirmamas. So let that Krishna be my object of meditation. Let me develop taste or rati for that Lord. Why? Because when he centered, so that Krishna, when he saw all of them, all their lifespans became reduced drastically. Became from so many years, it became to 18 days or whatever, 13 days. First 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, like that. Right? Prabhupada writes in this purport that Krishna is merciful. That is why he is transcendental. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naitimam yeti so Arjuna. So this is called transcendental. Krishna's activities. When Krishna does something, is beneficial to entire world. Right? Or it is beneficial to Arjuna, it is beneficial to Duryodhana, and it is beneficial to all the Sainiks, and it is beneficial to the whole world. This is called transcendental. So if you understand these activities of Krishna, without doubt you will go back home, back to God. Right? Very important verse. Janma karma chami divya. His intimate friend, but actually it was for the good of Arjuna's enemies. Such are the transcendental activities of the Lord. And whoever understands this also gets salvation after quitting this material body. The Lord does no wrong in any circumstance because He is absolute, all good at all times. Right? These rascals, they criticize Krishna's activities, Rama's activities. Right? This Ambedkar, he criticized, right? Last time I was explaining in Bharati's house, how, he wrote, that Rama, left his pregnant wife. What kind of husband he is? And the children were born and he didn't even go to see them. Gandhiji also said, if this personality is dancing with the other man's wives, then I reject him as God. I will not accept him as God. Like that, there is one guy, in Andhra, very rascal, Asay Shuddin Owaisi or somebody, he criticizes, our Rama, Kaushalya, all like that. So these are all transcendental activities we cannot understand. So one who understands and accepts these activities of Krishna, then they will go back home, back to God. So many people, they criticize Krishna, oh, he created so much violence. But so many people die, right? So they are going to hell, or they are going to some other body, some are going to heaven. But here, these people, they have gone back home, back to God. So there is no loss if lifespan is decreased. Vyavahita pratanna mukam nirikshaya svajana vadhat vimukasya dosha buddhya kumatim aharad atma vidyayash charanarati paramasya tasya mestu. When Vyavahita Prutana Mukam Nirikshaya, when Krishna placed the chariot, when he saw the faces of Bhishma, Drona and all Ashwatthama and all cousins, so he became Kumatim Svajana Vadha Vimukasya Dosha Buddhya, thinking that I have to kill my own relatives and friends, Dosha Buddhya. He became contaminated by the Dosha Buddhi means, wrong understanding of this philosophy that my people, my grandfather and all that. So I have to kill them. So, Kumatim Arhat Atma Vidyascha. Then Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Atma Vidya. Right? Then Charanarati Paramasya Tasya Mestu. Let my mind goes to that lotus feet of that Krishna who spoke Bhagavad Gita and destroyed the ignorance of Arjuna, because it is contaminated by this understanding that I have to kill my own people. Right? So that's why Krishna asked Arjuna, right? Pachid etat Shrutam Partha, Tvaya Ekagra Chetasa, Kachit etat Ajnana Samoha, Pranashtaste Dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, Tvaya ekagra chetasa. Did you hear this Bhagavad Gita? With ekagra chetasa, with concentration? Ekagra chetasa. Otherwise I will tell you again. Did you hear? Now, Ajnana Sammohita Pranashtaste. Your illusion, Ajnana, because of Ajnana that you became illusion, Ajnana Sammoha. Does it became destroyed? Pranashtaste? Dhananjaya? Right? Then what did Arjuna reply? Nasta moha smriti labda. You are saying last word, last sentence. What is that? Nasta moha smriti labda. Tvat prasadat maya achyuta. Nasta moha means my illusion became destroyed. Nasta moha. Smriti labda. I got back my remembrance that I am your eternal servant. That is called smriti, right? Smriti labda. Then, how? Tvat prasadat maya achyuta. Achyuta, by your mercy I got this. Right? Stitosmi gata sandehaha. I am now fixed now in this Krishna consciousness. Right? In this Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada writes, second chapter Bhagavad Gita, in one lecture he says, when Arjuna said, I will not fight, then later on, after 700 verses, he said, I will fight. There is a difference between that I and this I. You read that? You heard that lecture? Second chapter Bhagavad Gita. That I is that, illusion, consciousness that I am this body. I am Arjuna. I have to fight and all that stuff. But this I is, I am servant of Krishna. So there is a lot of difference between this I and that I. Then what did he say? Nashta moha smriti labda tvaya tvat prasadat maya achyuta stitosmi gata sandehaha. All my doubts are, they have ran away from the window. Gata sandeha. Gata means going. They all went off sandeha. Then what did he say? Karishye vachanam tava. I will do whatever you say. This is called understanding Bhagavad Gita. When you come to this conclusion that my dear Krishna, I will do whatever you say, that is called Krishna consciousness. Right? Chetasa sarva karmani. You read that verse 18 chapter Bhagavad Gita. Maybe I think 58 or 59. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matpara buddhiyogam upashritya machitta satatam bhava. Chetasa sarva karmani, being conscious of me, you perform all your activities. Mai sanyasya matpara, giving up the results and thinking of me all the time and working for me. Buddhiyogat upashritya, buddhiyogam upashritya, taking shelter of the buddhi yoga. Machitta, keep your consciousness in me. Satatam bhava, all the time. Prabhupada says, servant is like a slave. Animal, like a sold out animal. Sold out animal has no rights. Like that, a servant has no rights. Whatever the master says, he has to do, yes sir. He has no independence and individuality. He has no independence. Whatever the master says, yes sir. That is called Chetasa sarva karmani. Such a person is real devotee. Right? So we have to come to this conclusion, like we should say, and not only say in front of Krishna that I will do whatever you say, actually you should do it. Right? That's why Prabhupada says, for that you have to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and act accordingly whatever he says. Right? Other day, anyway, like that. So actually Arjuna cannot be bewildered, but it is only act. Right? Like that. So I will narrate this verse and we'll take a break. Svanigamam apahaya mat pratijñam ritamadikartumavapluto ratastaha dhrutarata charnayo abhyayat chaladguru haririvahantumibham Katotariyaha. Swanigamam apahaya. He has taken a vow that he will not catch weapons in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But apahaya, he gave up. Swanigamam apahaya mat pratijnam. In order to make my pratijna true. What is that is pratijna? Yeah? That tomorrow Krishna has to carry arrows, fight with a weapon, otherwise I will kill his friend Arjuna. Right? So, ritam adhikartum avaplito ratastaha. Yeah? So, he thought that my words, it is more important to make my words truthful than his own pratijna, his own shapat. Swanigamam pahai mat pratijnam dhritarata charanayo abhyaya chaladguru. So Bhishmadev broke the chariot of Arjuna. Then he took the chariot. Then he went running like a lion runs towards a elephant. Then on the way he dropped his uttari. This Duryodhana and all, they were all envious. Kamyaman, when they were in Kamyaman, he said Goshayatra. It is called Goshayatra. Yeah? He convinced Dhritarashtra and all, we'll go and take picnic. So they went, and then they were staying just a little far away from where Pandavas were staying. And he went with all his opulence, all dancers and all that. Then they would every day they would eat big feast, and all the remnants they would come and throw at the kutir of Pandavas to make them jealous, that see how they are only eating kandamula and all, but we are enjoying and all. So he was exhibiting all his opulence and all, right? So then there was then he had some altercation with Gandharvas. Then Gandharvas fought with Duryodhana and all. They arrested him. Then one Sainik came and informed Yudhishthira Maharaj, that Yuvraj Duryodhana was arrested by Gandharvas. Then there is a very famous statement by Bhima that whatever we have to do, Gandharvas have done. Like that, Kagal Karyam Gandharvale jaisa. Like that, there is a saying, Telugu, there are a lot of sayings based on Mahabharata. So what we are supposed to do, kill Duryodhana, they only done, so why should we worry? Yudhishthira Maharaj chastised, no, हमारा आपस में भाई लोग झगड़ते हैं, वो अलग बात है, लेकिन बाहर वाले के लिए हम एक होना चाहिए. So Arjuna and Bhima, they went. Arjuna only fought with Gandharvas and released Duryodhana. Duryodhana said, you saved my life. I will ask me something, I will give you. Arjuna said, when the time comes, I will ask. So one of the days, Duryodhana insulted Bhishma, saying that you are a Pandava Pakshapati. You are not fighting, hard enough against Pandavas. Like that, you are a Kayar and all that. So when Prabhupada writes, when Kshatriyas were insulted like that, they cannot tolerate. Then Bhishma Dev, he prepared some 5 special arrows. Then he said, you gave it to Duryodhana, that tomorrow you give them to me. I will use these arrows. Then I will kill. It is my pratijna that tomorrow I will fight so ferociously that either Krishna has to carry the weapon, he has to break his promise, or I will kill Arjuna. Oh, no, wait. So then what happened? Then he gave the arrows like that. Then Krishna came to know this. Then Krishna told Arjuna, you remember Duryodhana gave you promise? Go and ask these 5 arrows. Then Arjuna went and asked, give me this. So he had to give, like that. Then Bhishma asked, where are those 5 arrows? He said, Pitama, aisa ho gaya. Then he became very angry. So tomorrow Krishna has to carry the weapon, otherwise I will kill Arjuna. Like that. So that was his pratijna. You know. But in the beginning only, battlefield, Krishna made a promise that he will not carry any weapons, right? Like that. So then Arjuna, there was a big, huge fight. Huge fight. And then Bhishma broke the chariot. He was, the horses fainted. Then Krishna, also sweating like anything. Arjuna became very bewildered. And all his dhanush and all, they were broken. He became weaponless and all that. Then Krishna became very, then Bhishma Dev, he was, trying to kill Arjuna by, releasing arrow. Then Krishna became very angry. Like when lion sees the elephant, he becomes angry. So Krishna ran towards, he got down from the chariot, and then the chariot was broken, and then he took that, chariot of the broken, wheel of the broken chariot, then he ran towards Bhishma. He ran towards Bhishma. Then Bhishma Dev immediately gave up, said, my dear Vasudev, I'll be very happy to be killed by you. Come and kill me. Then in between, then Arjuna became very shocked. Said, then he ran towards Krishna. Vasudev, what are you doing? You have taken a promise that you will not carry weapon. He caught hold of the lotus feet of Krishna, and then he was dragging him. Don't do this. Meanwhile, Bhishma Dev gave up the weapon and said, please welcome. Then Prabhupada writes, at the time only Suryasta ho gaya, then battle is finished. So this is a beautiful verse. Swanigamam aphaya mat pratijñam ritam adhikartum avaplito ratastaha. Dhrutarata charanayo abhyayat chaladguru haririva hantumibham katottariyah. So on the way, he, his Uttariya fell down. So I want to see that form again and again. Krishna running towards me. When what is that? Uttariya, chadar. So he actually even in Bhagavatam 7th canto also, in order to satyam vidatum nijabhritya bhashitam, in order to make the words of Prahlad Maharaj true, Lord appeared from the so that is why Prabhupada writes that Krishna told Arjuna to declare that Kaunteya pratijanihi nami bhakta pranishyati, because if Krishna says, they will say that he has broken his promise. He has taken a promise, right, that I will not carry weapon, but I tried to kill Bhishma, so they will not believe. But you tell, my dear Arjuna, Kaunteya pratijanihi nami bhakta pranashyati. But if my devotees say, my devotees will never perish, then everybody will believe, because I am a devotee of my devotee. That is why Prabhupada writes in that purport. Why Krishna did not give assurance that my devotees will not perish? Why he told Arjuna to make a statement? Because of this incident. People will quote this incident, say that you have taken a promise but you broke it. Why did you break it? Because in order to make the words of Bhishma Dev true. So they will understand that I will do anything if devotee says something, right? Then it is said that Prabhupada, somebody criticized Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that anybody who comes to Krishna consciousness, they will never take birth in the animal species of life, right? Neha vikramana sasti pratyavaho na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bayat, right? So somebody criticized, you see Bharat Maharaj became a deer, right? Some like that. But I told one devotee that because Prabhupada said now, Huh? Henceforth it will not happen. Because Prabhupada told you, that's it. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. So like that, very beautiful verse, this verse. Swanigama mapai mad pratijna. Ritam adhikartum avapluto ratastaha. Dhrutarata charnayo abhyaya chaladguru. Hariri bahantum evam gatutriyaha. The pastimes that took place on the battlefield of Kurushetra are wondrous because it looks like Krishna is favoring Arjuna and he is at enmity with Bhishma. But Prabhupada writes, the astounding feature of these pastimes is that even if you become an enemy of Krishna, you can still please him. Because this is Bhishma Dev was saying, this is actually special favor shown by Krishna on Bhishma Dev. He is, even though that is why Vishwanath Thakur writes, Krishna enjoys equally when a lover throws a lotus flower on him, or when his so-called enemy like Bhishma Dev throws arrows at him. He treats equally both the persons, because it is actually people think that in India especially and entire world they are influenced by Mayavad philosophy and impersonal this voidism, right? So Buddhists in America, Buddhism is very famous, and all over the world also Buddhism becoming more famous because Buddhism is atheism, right? How there can be void? If anybody has any common sense, they will not accept Buddhism, right? How there can be a... Prabhupada said, if when suppose you are bound now in this material body, but you are still so active, then how active you will be when you are liberated? The soul is very active, right? Now we are bound by this body, material network, and so many things we can't do, but still we are so active. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Karyatehi avashah karma. Krishna says that, Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishtati. Even for a moment also, akarmakrit. Without doing work, you cannot remain. Jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Karyatehi avashah karma. Avashaha means without helplessly. You have to do work. Karyate avashah karma. Sarvair prakriti jayar gunai. By the influence of the 3 modes of nature, everybody has to work. You will be forced to work. And even for a moment also, you cannot remain without doing work. Either mentally you are working or physically you are working. So, Krishna, they say that, nirguna, nirvikar, nirvisesha, no qualities, is no form, all that stuff. But actually, Krishna has all qualities, and he has all feelings also. He becomes angry, right? He's funny, right? That's why Krishna is known as Natashekara, Rasamurti, Akila Rasamrita Murti, is the embodiment of all rasas. Then he enjoys this rasa of anger also. He is not, Prabhupada says, he is not a stone, he enjoys all the rasas. So Krishna enjoys this rasa also of fighting with his enemies. So who can fight with him? That is why this pastime is happening now. Hiranyakashipu in 7th canto Bhagavatam, right? So Krishna chooses one of his devotees only, right? So Jaya and Vijaya, understood the, the heart of Krishna, Lord Narayana. That's why they misbehaved with the Kumaras, and then Kumaras cursed. Then Lord Narayana came and pacified them. Then he said, okay, because why? Because he has this itching to fight. He has this itch to fight. Like he has this itching also, scratching. He has, right? But he is Urukrama. Everything he does is big, So he took the form of a gigantic, tortoise. Right? Because he has that itching sensation. Then they took, Parvat, mountain. Huh? And then they were, scratching, Samudra Manthan time. Samudra Manthan time. So Krishna, like, when you feel itchy, when you scratch, you feel little pleasure, right? Like that, Krishna is experiencing pleasure of, that mount. So that was his work. If we cannot even lift, in order to lift that mountain, so many devatas and demons, they had to cooperate. And the Lord is so great. One person, as in the form of a tortoise, he was taking that, weight of that mountain. That is called Urukrama. Urukrama means one who performs great activities. Urukrama. So these activities are that this exchange of love that is taking place. Even though apparently Bhishma is acting like an enemy, and apparently Krishna is showing his mercy on his pure devotee Arjuna, but Krishna is pleased with both of them, because that is why Prabhupada says it's the astounding feature of this activity, pastime, is that even if you become an enemy, you can still please Krishna. Like that. So, so the Supreme, the Lord, actually he cannot have enemy, but still, he accepts, somebody as enemy. That is why, actually, when Ravanasur, he was doing Digvijay Yatra, then he went to Svetadvip. There, small girls, they are playing. They are playing. And Dashanam, he has got 10 heads. So, these small girls, 5, 6 or 7-year-old girls, they are playing, and Ravanasur asked, can I meet Lord Narayana? The girl said, what? Then they saw some very strange creature with 10 heads. So those small girls, they were playing ball with Ravanasur. They were playing ball with Ravanasur. Then Ravanasur was surprised. Who is this? Who are these girls and all? Such small girls are so powerful. What about that Lord? Then he understood that, he said, if I want to die, I will die only in these hands of Narayana. That is why in Uttarakhand bolte hain, Ramayana. Huh? Last portion. Huh? Uttarakhand bolte hain? Huh? Ayodhya Kand, Uttarakhand. Yeah. It is described that Ravanasur knew that, Rama, he decided that to be killed by Rama only. That's why he did not leave Sita at all, whoever advised him, because he wanted to die in the hands of Lord Ramchandra. So these are the, wonderful activities of the Lord, that he does with his pure devotees. Then it is wonderful also that even if somebody becomes really enemy, still, it is beneficial for him when he fights with the Lord. Like Srila Prabhupada explains that this Jaya Vijay, this Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha in this Kalpa, and Ravanasur and Kumbhakarna, and Shishupal and Dantavakra, they were actually Jaya and Vijay. Actual Jaya and Vijay. But in many other Kalpas, Jaya and Vijay, they don't come. ordinary living entities like us, they become Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna and all that. So it is said that Krishna's form is so wonderful. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he kills, they get liberation. But when other forms of the Lord they kill, they don't get liberation. Just like when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were killed by Lord Nrsingadev, they didn't get liberation. They became Ravan and Kumbhakarna, and they became unlimitedly rich because they were always thinking of his pure devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. Then Ravanasura and Kumbhakarna, Ravanasura he was always thinking of Sita ji. Even though he was killed by Lord Ramchandra, he did not get liberation because he was always thinking of Sita Devi, and then he became very powerful and opulent, and he became Shishupal. But when Shishupala and Dantavakra were killed by Krishna, then they got liberation. So in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami explains that this is a special feature of Krishna's incarnation. When he kills, that is the meaning of Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatvataha. That even when he kills also, it is beneficial for the enemies. Of course they say that initially got merged in the body of Lord Krishna when he killed Shishupal, and then later on he went back to Godhead. But they say that in Gauda Gadodhan Deepika and all, same Shishupala and Dantavakra, because they have offended Krishna so much and devotees so much, they were feeling repentance. That is why they took the form of Jaga and Madai. Jaga and Madai. And then they performed, Madai especially, they performed, after the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgave them, they performed very menial service. He built Madai Ghat. Then he used to take care of all the Brahmanas and all the devotees who would come to take bath. He would do massage to them, he would wash their clothes, he would help them to take bath. Like that, he was constantly repenting for all the offenses he had committed, for all the sinful activities he had committed. Then he attained Krishna Prema. Then it is said that Srila Prabhupada said, in the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when the soul becomes liberated, he becomes two. One soul becomes two. Then one soul goes to Golok Vrindavan. Then expansion of that soul goes to Mayapur. So simultaneously take part in both the pastimes. For origin, like we all origin, one soul is there, right? So when we become liberated, that soul expands into two. Like Krishna expands into 16,108. Like that, when we become liberated, only in Gaudiya Sampradaya. Only in Gaudiya Sampradaya. So then we take part in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. So this is a special feature of Krishna. So we should not become bewildered. Bhishma, how he is acting like an enemy, because he was his pure devotee, and then he is exchanging that rasa with Krishna. Then Krishna is pleased with both. Then Kshataja Paripluta. Kshataja means wounds. So these wounds actually decorative piece of Krishna's body. Like that. So nobody can, Krishna cannot have enemies, and then nobody can, hurt Krishna. Like that. So when Krishna went to Hastinapur as the Shanti Dut, he proposed this, you give 5 villages and all. Then Duryodhana refused. Then Krishna said, why are you trying to make Gandhari shed tears over your dead bodies? Right? So Duryodhana said, if you take the name of my mother, I will punish you. So Krishna said, what? You will punish me? The person who was welcomed by Pitamaha Bhishma, Dronacharya and all, you have so much guts? So then Duryodhana, Krishna asked, what will you do? He said, bandi bana lenge. Right? बंदी बनाने. कृष्णा said, हाँ बंदी बनाने देखते हैं, चलो करके प्रयत्न करके देखो. Then he arranged, he said, Sainik, arrest Krishna, bandi bana lo. So in that time, Krishna showed his Vishwarup. Right? So so much stage, he was coming. Then all the Sabhasadas, all the people who are sitting in the assembly, they could not see the form, of Lord Vishwarup, and they all fainted, except Vidura, Bhishmadev, and Dronacharya, and that's all. And then Dhritarashtra asked her, what is, there is a, so much commotion in the assembly. What is happening? What is happening? Then Vidura told that, Krishna is showing Vishwarup. Then immediately he prayed to the Lord that, please give me the vision, so that I can have also darshan of that Vishwarup. Then Sanjaya also saw. Sanjaya also, that's why he was saying, then, no, Sanjaya did not see. Then, then Dhritarashtra had the first time, he had his vision, only once. Then they are all very happy, and then the others all fainted. They could not see the form of the Lord. Then Dhritarashtra, Krishna asked Dhritarashtra, you want to retain your eyes? I said, no. He said, मेरा आँख धन्य हो गया, आपका विश्वरूप देख के. Now I don't want to see the dead bodies of my sons. He knew, he knew. So I don't want to see. I didn't see when Duryodhana was alive. His living body I didn't see. So I didn't want to see the dead body also. Like that. So Krishna, then that was it. So like that, Bhishma warned also. You cannot insult Krishna. He is, Manapaman se, he is above this respect and disrespect. And he is Dvandvatit. He is above this duality. Ye mera hai, wo tumhara hai. So what he expressed his, anguish. Don't be so foolish. They are not, Nisahai, Pandavas, that you can insult. He will finish you off. Like that. So that is why this wonderful form, later on, even Sanjaya saw on the battlefield of Kurushetra. He explained, Rajan Sansmritya Sansmritya, Rupam Ati Adbhutam Hare, Vismayo me Mahan Rajan, Rishyami cha Punah Punaha. My dear Lord, Rajan Sansmritya Sansmritya, when I remember this great form of the Lord, I become so ecstatic. Rupam Ati Adbhutam Hare. This wonderful form of that Hari. Vismayo me Mahanraj, I become wonderful, bewildered. So when I think of Rishyami, when I think about it, Punah Punaha, again and again, I became so ecstatic, Rishyami. So that is, so nobody can, who can be enemy of Krishna. But when Krishna chooses, enemy, then he is equally powerful because he makes him powerful. He makes him powerful. Like that. So this is the next verse. Vijayarata kutumba attatotre dhrutahaya rasminita chiyakshaniye bhagavati ratirastu me mumurshor yamiha nirikshaya hatagata swarupam. Kutumba, this word kutumba is very important word. You know, Kutumba means Vasudeva Kutumbakam. You know, what does that mean? You know, we are family of Krishna. So this Kutumba means the object of protection at all risk. So Kutumba means object of affection and protection at all risks. He will go to any extent to save his devotee. Right? Even he will do even adharma also. He will tell lies also. Right? That's what he did, no? Because if Dronacharya, he was fighting very like anything on 15th day. You know, he invoked Divyastras. You know, he invoked Divyastras, and Brahmaji and all the sages, they came. Then said, Brahmaji told that, hey Brahman, you are born in Brahmin family. Why did you become like this Krura Kshatriya? And it is not fair for you on your part to use Divyastras. You know. So you are thinking this Dhritarashtraka Anna is more important than Dharma. Then, you know, Dronacharya said, you know, I am actually, yes, you know, I am not fighting for Dharma and all. I am indebted to Dhritarashtra because in my ashram there was not even one cow. Now my ashram is full of cows. It's all because of Dhritarashtra. You know, so I cannot repay my debt to him. So Brahmaji requested him not to use Divyastras, but he still refused. Then he was using Divyastras and killing so many people. Drupad Maharaj was killed on that day. Maharaj, Matsyaraj, you know, Virat Raj also was killed on that day. So many warriors he killed. You know. But so Arjuna said, if Dronacharya is fighting like this, you know, nobody can, today war will be finished. Then Krishna made this tarka that, you know, our aim is to establish dharma. And then Duryodhan is, another form of adharma. And this Dronacharya is supporting him. So he is also adharmi. So in order to establish dharma, even if you use adharma, there is no harm. Because, you know, ultimately dharma has to be established. Arjuna said, yeah. Then, with fair means, you cannot kill Dronacharya. You know, Krishna said like that. Arjuna said, how can we say that? You know, how can we do that? I can't do. Then Krishna told, फिर देखते रहो. If you cannot do that, देखते रहो. Then Bhima is ready. So then he asked Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, if I have to do that, I will do that. Yeah, if I have to tell a lie, then Krishna told you have to tell a lie. So what is that? Because, you know, Dronacharya is very, very affectionate towards his son Ashwatthama. If you tell him the news of his death, he cannot tolerate. Then you can kill him. Then you all know, you know, Bhima, Majle Bhaiya, one elephant comes. Krishna indicates. Then they all know, you know, just by indication, you know, they know what it is. So Bhima understood. Then he killed Ashwatthama, that elephant. Then he started shouting, I killed Ashwatthama, I killed Ashwatthama. Then, he said, I cannot believe, you know. I cannot believe all this. Then, if Maharaj Yudhishthira says, I will believe. Then Krishna indicated, see, the entire Dharma Sthapana now depends on you. So, Savdhan Raho. Yeah. Then, you know, all of you know, he told, you know, Ashwatthama hataha kunjaraha na naraha. So when he said that naraha, Krishna told, you know, to baja bajane ke liye. You know, सब लोग शंख बजा रहे थे, बाजा बजा रहे थे, then like that. Then they came, then Drishtadyumna, then he did Prayopavesh, Parakay Pravesh, Prayopavesh. He left, then he went into Samadhi, and then Drishtadyumna killed Dronacharya. Dronacharya. Then Ashwatthama came and all. So Ashwatthama and Arjuna, they were equal fighters, Then he is Mrityu, Chiranjeevi also. He's still alive, I think he will become next Vyasa or something. Yeah. Ashwatthama, he came and said, how you can kill, my father like this, Anyaya se maar diya, and all that stuff. Then he became very angry. Then he started using Divyastras. Then Ashwatthama released Narayanastra. Narayanastra. Then ये तो अमोघ है Narayanastra, right? अमोघ है. Then it was released and it was coming towards Pandavas. Krishna is there. So what Krishna did, there is only one way out. You just surrender to Narayanastra. All of you fall down and offer obeisances to Narayanastra, and Narayanastra will go back. Then all Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjuna, Nakul and Sahadev, they all fell down. Bhima said, I am a Kshatriya, how can I bow down my head towards anybody? I can't do that. Krishna said, he gave me a slap and said, you rascal, fall down. There is no... They fell down. When Krishna is there, what? He knows all the tricks. That is why Shakuni, he is always thinking about Krishna. This one Mayavi, Krishna, you remove him, then like that. Anyway, so like that, Krishna will do anything to protect his devotees. Right? If Bhishma and Drona, Karna, right? So then later on, next day Karna, I told you many times, Karna's, he was praying to Parshuram that, for one day, remove the curse. Because Parshuram cursed, that when the time comes, when it needed most, he will forget the mantras. Right? So Parshuram said, यही दिन के लिए श्राप दिया मैंने. तुम जीत लेगा, वाह, युद्ध जीत लेगा, कोई किसी को फायदा नहीं. Duryodhan will become king and useless fellow. Then he told him very nice thing, that Karn, तुम जिंदगी भर तुम you only gave. तुम देने के लिए प्रसिद्ध है, लेने के लिए नहीं. Right? Hare Krishna वाले लेने के लिए. Right? So we should open Dena Bank, not Lena Bank. Right? हमारा पूरा लेना बैंक है कृष्ण से लेने का. Right? We should actually open Dena Bank. Right? Give to Krishna like that. I don't know where it is given, but they say that when Rath Chakra went into the earth, then he forgot the mantras. Then Karna was staying there. So he told Arjuna, you kill him. Because he gave so much dana, so much punya he did. So Krishna took the form of a Brahmana. That was in the middle of the mid-noon, So Karna had took a vow that in the middle of the noon, in the mid-noon, anybody, because he does Surya Puja, anybody comes during that time, whatever they ask, he will give. So Krishna told Arjuna that he has got so much punya, that you can with so much punya you cannot kill him. So what he did, he took the form of a Brahmana and then he went at that time. So Karna was praying to Surya. Karna asked, what do you want? What can I give you? Then Krishna asked in the form of a Brahmana that give all your punya in dhan. पूरा तुम्हारा पुण्य को दान पूरा दान कर लेना. So he took. Then Krishna came and said, now you kill him. Now you kill him. Like that. So that is, Krishna will do anything to protect his devotees. Then he fulfilled his promise, Puva, see, I brought back your 5 sons. Safe. Then, actually purposefully, he knew that, Draupadi's sons are going to be killed. So they wanted to go back to their Sibira, Pandav Sibira. But Krishna came and said, today after Duryodhana was killed, he was laid down on the battlefield. Krishna said, let him, die, his own death. Leave him to die like that. Then he said, come, let us go. Then he said, today, victorious day, we should spend your night in the Kaurav Shibira and, proclaim you to be the victors. Like that. So that day actually, Pandavas were sleeping in Kaurav Shibira. And this fellow Ashwatthama went and killed Draupadi's sons. So later on, Dhritarashtra was very, very angry, very, very angry. And then Vyasadeva, that time only he blessed Ambalika that, your son will be having a strength of 10,000 elephants. Very strong. He would embrace somebody, then they would die. Like that. Then he took all the Pandavas. Then he, Dhritarashtra, Krishna went there. Then, please come, Anujputra, ek karke aao, mera alingan karo. Please embrace me. Like that. So Yudhishthira Maharaj went and offered obeisance and embraced him. Then Bhima, come. But meanwhile, for 13 years, Duryodhana practiced Gada Yuddha by making a Katputli of Bhima, of iron. Statue he made, form of Bhima, and then he was practicing Gada Yuddha, Gada Yuddha. And Krishna showed, indicated with signs. He told Bhima. So Bhima is thoda mandabuddhi, So, said, don't go. Then there was that statue of Bhima, standing there, kept it there. Do what I say. Bhima. Okay. With all sign language, because he can't say it. Then he understood. Then he brought that statue and then, put it in front of Dhritarashtra. Then he embraced him. It's so hard. Bhima! Like that, Mera Putra! Because he was so angry. All the 100 sons were killed by Bhima. All the 100 sons. Then the entire statue broken into pieces. Then his whole body, covered with blood. Then he sat down on the Simhasan, said, "Oh Pandu, I am a very sinful person. I killed your son Bhima." Like that he started crying. Then Krishna said, "Maharaj, you did not kill Bhima, don't worry." Huh? I knew that, you are very angry with Bhima because he killed 100 sons. That's why you are very eager to kill him. Your heart is burning with revenge. So that's why I know that you are going to kill him. So that is why, we only put a statue of Bhima. Then Bhima said, Bade Pitaji, if you want to kill me, I am here, please, Then he said, then he his anger became pacified, and then he said, okay, let's stop. Later on, Vidura says, then Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they stay back. Vidura says, you are like a dog. You are taking, Bhima used to serve him food. You are taking food served by a person who killed your 100 sons. Have some shame. Like that. First kind of Bhagavatam. Vidura is very, wonderful, very great person. Vidura. That's why it's called Vidur Niti. They are so intelligent, like that. Rajniti. Nowadays people, they don't know only Rajniti. And previously Kshatriyas are trained in Rajniti. They were specially trained. They have to know what is diplomacy, who is enemy, who is friend, how to deal. Vidura explains all these things to Dhritarashtra Maharaj, very elaborately in Aranya Parva, like that. So, Krishna will do anything. Then, in the end, Ashwatthama, he released Brahmastra. Right? So, this Brahmastra, like I was saying in the beginning of the class, all these astras, they were given to personalities who do lot of tapasya. Arjuna did so much tapasya to get Pashupatastra. To get Pashupatastra, that like Dhruva Maharaj, he did tapasya. You know that? Every 3 days only he used to eat something. Then after that, every 6 days he used to eat something. And after that, every 15 days. After that, he gave up breathing also. Like 6 months he did tapasya. Then entire world was disturbed. And then they all went. Then Lord Shiva came. Then they had a fight, and then he gave him Pashupatastra. This Pashupatastra is very powerful. Like Brahmastra also, very powerful. So these personalities who practice Brahmacharya very strictly, they can only wear this Brahmastra and use this Brahmastra. And so this he released, when Draupadi's sons were killed, Draupadi said, I will not cry till the time you catch hold of this rascal. So when Pandavas, Bhima and Arjuna, they were behind him, and then Ashwatthama became very frightened. Then he released Brahmastra. Then he went to Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva said, Disha Bhadra. He said, then all the demigods have assembled. Then Krishna told Arjuna, you also release Brahmastra. And this Brahmastra will destroy the worlds. So powerful. Like that. Then Vyasadeva said, Arjuna, what are you doing? Then Krishna said, Maharshi, what to do? What, we will die or what in the hands of Ashwatthama? Then Krishna told, Vyasadeva told Arjuna, really, retract your Brahmastra. Arjuna took it back. But Ashwatthama, he could not take it back. Right? Why? Shivani will tell. Shivani will tell. Ashwatthama, he was a brahmachari. Arjuna was a married man. But Arjuna was a so perfect brahmachari. When Ashwatthama went to... Madhvacharya explained this in his Mahabharata Tatparya. That when Duryodhana was felled on the battlefield on 18th day, this Ashwatthama, Kritavarma, then Krupacharya, they all... Then one more person. So these 4 of them, they went to meet him. So Duryodhana said, all of us died, now I am also dying. All my sons also have died. So he said, this niyoga is there. Niyoga means when a king doesn't have a child or children are not there, he can the queen can combine with the qualified Brahmana and produce a child. That is called niyoga. So you do one thing, you go and meet my wife and then produce a child. So at that time, he mentally fell down. He was a brahmachari. He didn't do that also, but he thought of, this act. That is why he mentally fell down from brahmacharya. That is why he lost the power to take it back. But Arjuna, he has got 4 or 5 wives. Draupadi says, when they are married, then Narada Muni came and told the story of Sunda and Upasunda. You know the story? Sunda and Upasunda? Anybody heard? He told the story. There are 2 these demons, and they are so powerful. They did so much tapasya. They were offering their flesh from their bodies, and then Brahmaji came. Then they asked, we should become powerful, Maya Vidya, this, that. Then he said, then we should become Amaratva. He said, Brahmaji said, that I cannot give. Then he said, okay, there will be no death from anybody else. If we have to die, we will die between both of us. We have to hit each other and die. But they are so twins, all their opinions, all their ideas, all completely similar. Their Rupa, everything. They are so close friends. They never had any difference of opinion. Both are very powerful. Then such rascals, they were created so much problem. That they were killing Brahmanas, they are killing Brahmarshis, they are killing, they created cows, and they created havoc. And they, he is Hiranyakashipu's descendant, Sunda and Upasand. Then they all went to Brahma, what to do? Then Brahma ordered Vishwakarma to create a very beautiful woman. Then Vishwakarma created a beautiful woman. Her angas are so perfect that tila means, til. Her name became Tilottama. Tilottama means til jitna incomplete defect is not found in her body. Aajkal. So that's why there are so many beauty parlors. Naak barabar nahi hai, no surgery karao, ye karao. Right? So many, they have to spend so much money. But she is so beautiful. She is so beautiful that when she was doing all the devatas and all, they were sitting, then she was doing parikrama of all the devatas and all. So Lord Shiva was sitting there. Lord Shiva everybody was looking at her. Lord Shiva wanted to look at, but he's a demigod and all, If some beautiful girl comes and you look at her, and suppose if I am giving Bhagavatam class, some beautiful girl comes and then I stare at her, then everybody will say, "Arey kya kar dekho, class mein baitha hai, class de raha hai aur kya kar raha hai dekho." Right? They will criticize, right? So Lord Shiva felt bad, if I am demigod, god of demigods. Pradhan Devta, if I look at her, लड़की को देखेगा सब लोग निंदा करेंगे. That's why he was sitting, facing Uttara means north, right? He was facing north and sitting. So when she was going, then he was looking. So when she came this side, one head formed. When she came this side, another head has formed. Like that, 4 heads have formed to see Tilottama. She was so beautiful. That's why Lord Shiva is known as Panchamukha. And there is one song, some bhajan, no? Brahma bole Chaturmukha, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Huh? Or what is that? Shiva bole Mahadeva Panchamukhe Rama Rama Hare Hare. Like that, That's when the Panchamukhas have formed. 4 mukhas extra formed. Then Indra, he also wanted to see. So much he wanted to see that 1000 eyes have formed on his entire body. He wanted to see all around. Everywhere. Just imagine. So she was so beautiful. Then he offered obeisance to, except Brahma, everybody became attracted to her, it seems. Everybody. That's why they gave her the name Tilottama. Like that. People have this conception only men and women, if they combine, child will be born. But actually, when Agastya Muni, when he was walking around, he was doing big tapasya. When he was walking around, he saw, all his pitrus, they were falling down. He said, what happened? I said, tum shadi nahi kiya, humko bachcha nahi hai. There's no one to offer oblations to us. That's why there's so much importance is given to having a son in Vedic system. Now, if somebody says, I want to have a son, there will be big uproar. And recently also something happened, no? Somebody said that Ramdev Baba, they are selling some Putra Jivak, some medicine. They wanted to file a case and all that. But anyway, like that. So Agastya Muni, then he checked around, he didn't like any girl. He wanted to marry, but he didn't like any girl. Then what he created one girl. Then meanwhile, there's one king was there nearby. That king, he didn't have a child for a long time, and then he was desiring. So he sent this girl to that king as a king's daughter. He only created. Later on, when she grown up, Lopamudra, her name is Lopamudra. Entire world, she's so beautiful. Entire world was becoming attracted to her, all demigods and all. But Agastya Muni went and asked, I want to marry her. The king was so scared, Agastya Muni means powerful sage. He drank all the, He drank all the ocean. Nivata Kavachas, they were Kalkeya demons, they were staying in the bottom of the ocean. And they would come up in the night and they would kill all the, hurt demigods and kill all people and go back. Nobody can, who will go inside the ocean and kill, Then they approached Brahmaji. Brahmaji said, you ask Agastya Muni, he will help you. Then Agastya Muni, no problem. क्या करने का? So समुद्र में Lord Vishnu told, you clean up the ocean, then they will not, then they cannot fight with you. Because they are hiding, you cannot go inside the ocean. That's why they are. So they called Agastya Muni. He said, what, क्या करने का? तो ऐसे नीचे है, फिर समुद्र को खाली करना है. अच्छा. Then he took Achaman and then he drank the entire ocean. खाली हो गया. Then the Devatas, they came and they killed all the Kalkeya demons. Then they said, bring back the ocean. अभी किधर का ocean है? हजम हो गया. Means some part of the ocean only. Actually, that part they were staying. Like then there is no one. Then what to do now? He said, क्या करेगा? वो Sagar Maharaj's kings, sons, 60,000. They will dig. That time. Then Bhagirath Maharaj, when they bring Ganga, so that Ganga will fill it up. So that's where in Bangala, that Bay of Bengal, that's where that entire ocean he drank, Agastya Muni. Previously, Vindhya Parvat. Anyway, Vindhya Parvat, they were, he was very upset, Meru Parvat and all. He was growing and growing, and then he covered the sun. Just like, in Norway and all, sometimes, up to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, there'll be daytime, Then one Mataji, I met her, one lady, one girl. She was... I met her in Mayapur, Calcutta. And she was doing PhD. Very nicely she spoke to me. She was doing, she is a PhD and working in Ireland somewhere. And so she knows BI also. So she told me, I asked, because till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, sun is there. Or sometimes there is no sun, whole day, night only. Then she told, we get affected mentally. If there is no sun, pagal ho jayenge log. And then people in Norway, Netherlands, they all have to take psychiatric treatment. They're mentally disturbed. They are. Anyway. Okay, what to Vindhya Parvat? Kya karne ka? Then they all approached Agastya Muni. Agastya Muni came to meet Vindhya Parvat. Vindhya Parvat, he offered obeisances to Agastya Muni. Agastya Muni said, you stay, huh? You stay here, huh? Till the time I come back. So he never went back. Even now he is there in South India. Right? Very famous sage. Like that they would create, like that. Sunda and Upasanda. Then Tilottama came. Then I don't know, every time you read Bhagavatam, they'll be playing some ball. All these beautiful girls. Right? And her pallu will run away, fly away and all that stuff. Then Sunda and Upasanda, they saw her and they became attracted. वो बोलते तुम्हारा बाबी है वो, so she is like mother. No, ये मेरा पत्नी है. Like that, they fought with each other, they died. Then Narada Muni instructed them, Pandavas, that don't fight like this over your wife. Then he put a condition that 1 year, each year she will stay with you 1 year, like that, on rotation basis. And they put a condition, when she is with anybody else, no brother should go to that house and see Draupadi there. That was the condition. Like that. Once one Brahmana came and then he was being, I think his cows are being hunted or something like that. Then they came for help, and then Arjuna had to enter the chambers of Yudhishthira Maharaj and take his bow and arrow and all that stuff. And then they said, he has to go for, it's called Gosha Yatra. So for 12 years, he has to do a Gosha Yatra. Like that. So he went to many places that time. He went to many places that time. Then everywhere he got married. Arjuna, he went to Manipur. Then his wife was Chitrangada. Chitrangada's son was Babruvahana. Babruvahana, they had the system that Dauhitra means daughter's son, they becomes the son of her father. So that was the condition they put. And then so that is why Manipur state was completely Krishna conscious. Even Maharaj Bhagyachandra and all, they were, you saw in Radhakund, Maharaj temple is there, Sripad Maharaj temple. So that Maharaj Bhagyachandra made this temple. Krishna came in the dream of that Bhagyachandra and he requested, you make a temple in Radhakund in such a way that sun rays will fall on his lotus feet. Something like that, on one particular day or something like that. So Bhagyachandra made the temple. So that temple came to Maharaj, long back, 15-20 years back, like that. So they are all great. Narottam Das Thakur went and preached in Manipur. That's why they eat meat, fish and all, but they all put tilak. And they are very experts in kirtan. First Prabhupada told Maharaj, you make the first Vaishnava state. Make this first Vaishnava state in the whole world. They are all Vaishnavas because Arjuna's descendants and like that. All kings are very great devotees of the Lord. Then he married one Nagakanya, Ulupi. Then he got a son, Iravat, like that. Then he went to Dwarka and he kidnapped Subhadra. So Krishna told that this marriage is very important for you. Bharatavamshiyon ke liye is very important. If it is not required, don't think that because you are my friend, I am helping you to get in this kidnapping of Subhadra. It's so important. That you are for the continuation of this Bharatavamsha. Like that. So later on Subhadra came. Then he brought Subhadra. So he wanted to meet. Then they are all having a meeting. How to approach Subhadra, Draupadi. It is described that even though Draupadi has 5 husbands, she has special affection for Arjuna because he won her in the Swayamvar, like that. So she said she refused to meet him. So she told one very interesting thing in Mahabharata. It is said that when you are tying or something, you make one knot, right? Then you make another knot. So she said, when you tie first knot, and then when you are trying to make another knot, the first knot becomes loose. Huh? Yeah, like that, this Gosha Yatra became Shrungara Yatra for you. Wherever you went, you left one wife. Now you brought Subhadra along with you. So Arjuna said, Parantu Panchali. Then she said, among husband and wife, this Parantu Kintu should not be there. Then again he said, but so Draupadi Panchali. I told you, no but and ifs. You made me drink, Apman ka vish, this poison of this humiliation. And it left very bitter taste on my tongue, in my heart. When it goes away, maybe I can, invite you in my bhavan. Till that time, you get lost. Then when Krishna was bidding farewell to Arjuna, Subhadra is my sister, but even Draupadi is also my sister only. Remember this, like that. Then Arjuna was thinking, Subhadra was asking, Ariputri wanted to take me to sister Draupadi, what happened? I was thinking that only, how to take you there, because Draupadi is in very angry mood, very angry mood. Then Arjuna was thinking, then he remembered the Krishna's conversation with him, how he said, Draupadi is also his sister and all that. Then he said, okay, you take the form of a Gwalin, like Nandam, Gokul ka Gwalin. Gwalin ka vesh? He said, you do it. Then he usko sikha padaya kya bolne ka. Then Subhadra went. Krishna is very, Subhadra is very dear to Krishna. Bolte hai chaheti behan. Krishna, Subhadra is a chaheti behan. So he told, then Subhadra came, put the Gwalin ka vesh, like village girl. Then Maharani, she is Maharani, Indraprastha Maharani, so everybody cannot meet. So she sent that Dasi, Dasi came with the message that Yashodanandan's sister, Subhadra, she is desiring to meet you. So Draupadi looked at her angrily. Why are you saying that Yashodanandan's sister? Don't you know that she is Rani? Why didn't you say that Rani Subhadra? No, madam, she told me to tell you like this only. Then when Yashodanandan ki baat suna to Yashoda Sakhi, Krishna used to call Draupadi Sakhi, like friend and sister, very intimate relationship they had, like that. So then the Subhadra came. Then she said again, Yashodanandan ka behan Subhadra, आपका चरण स्पर्श, desiring to touch your feet. Then Draupadi immediately her heart melted. Then he said, Yashodanandan